Hello. Welcome back to the AgostinhoZinga show, random show episode number, what is it? 32, I think. It's pretty sure it's 32. Episode 32 of the random show. Hope you're doing well wherever this may be finding you. Hope you are doing splendid. Sorry for my tardiness, as per usual. I decided to whack this up lastminute.com and put it on at 11, not knowing that I was not going to be awake by then, but it is what it is. I'm going to do this as swiftly as I can because I've got a jam-packed day today of work, jam-packed day of gym, jam-packed day of running, jam-packed day of finding an Airbnb, and a jam-packed day of all other things in between when it comes to being a human being. But I hope you're well wherever you are. Big up Jake213 HMN. Hope you are good, my friend. Hope you are good. We've got a jam-packed show for you today. Jam-packed show. Okay? Jam-packed show. So, the jam-packed show today we got to celebrate 15K for me personally. So, big up me. 15,000 subscribers. I don't know why you guys are tuning into me. I don't know why you guys want to hear the sound of my voice. I don't know why you guys are here. But 15K is mad. So big up everyone that tunes into the AgostinhoZinga show on YouTube and watches my podcast, watches the random show, um, clicks on my flipping, Patreon, listens to my audio podcast, checks out my website, follows me on Instagram, checks out my Twitter, whatever you have done to interact with me and to give me some kind of love and appreciation. I appreciate you. All right? You. Because without the viewers, who would I be? Come on, think about it. If I didn't have anyone watching the stuff that I do, who the hell would I be? So big up everyone. Big up everyone. I really do appreciate it. I really, really do. And hopefully, we're just going to keep climbing in it. Hopefully, more goals will be taken, or more goals will be struck down, or more goals will be reached, more goals will be achieved, all of that niceness. And we'll slowly but surely get to a point where I could be like, oh, wow, I got a plaque. Oh, wow, look, it's in 4 double digits, 6 double digits, all this sort of nonsense, right? Will happen later on in the future. But right now, I'm just focusing on making sure my streams actually function because there's been times where it hasn't functioned. I'm making sure the show's going to be entertaining somewhat and just taking one step at a time in it. I think the next big step, probably for me, in terms of making content, will probably end up being having a studio. So it's either I'm going to move into a new place with a bigger second room, yeah, bigger second room, or I'm gonna get a studio by itself, or maybe I might do both. Maybe I might just move into a bigger second room anyway, but have like a dedicated studio that I can just do my stuff in. Because it'd be nice to have that studio that I could also podcast in and also maybe record DJ mixes and stuff. So it'd be nice to have that equipment already set up, and it's a bit out of order having that equipment and having to move it all the time and whatnot. You know what I mean? So maybe I'll just do both in general. But that's the next big goal. So if you see any big changes in the background, like, oh my god, that's a change, you'll know that I probably moved into a new studio or I moved into a bigger place with a second room. But that's the next big goal. And then maybe that might be another thing to do also, is to maybe upgrade the camera and get like a GoPro or get like an SLR or something, so you can see me in HD. So far the audio has not been too bad. I don't think so on the show, but sometimes the video and the frame rate and stuff can be a little bit shaky, which has to do obviously with the computer and obviously with the camera. But hey, we move. But anyway, jam-packed show for you today. Loads of things to get into. We're going to rush through them and smash through them, make this show as entertaining and as condensed as we can. I'm probably going to try and make this like an hour tops, maybe an hour, 10 hour, 20 minutes. So wherever you are, strap yourself in, right? Get ready for the absolute mad bonanza that is the random show. It's random by name, random by nature. I'm going to chug on this massive gallon of water because obviously it's the morning and I had to get the water in because I'm fasting, and I'm gonna get my munching later in the day. So if you're gonna have some water, gonna have any kind of drink, or if you're gonna drink some Tiger Cum, whatever you're gonna drink, sip it right now before we start the show. Ah, lovely, 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 jubbly. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So, number one thing to talk about, just slightly, because I just saw this right now in the morning. Have you guys seen this? This is pretty gnarly, isn't it? Right? And the reason why I brought this up is because I think, oddly enough, comedians do a really good job for the most part. Most comedians, not all of them, but most of them, do a really good job of coming across very regular and of kind of hiding their wealth and coming across like the everyday, like the everyman. When we all know full well, if they sell tickets, they sell merch. If they most likely have a Jim Warboy, go away. If they most likely have tickets, merch. If they most likely have a pop-in podcast, or they create content online. More likely than not, right? They are really really wealthy in some level, right? Because obviously the money that they get, from sponsors, from ads, from AdSense, for whatever else, is probably really really high. But I think most comedians do a really good job of concealing their wealth, and it's a good thing because in general people think of stand-up comedians as I don't know why they do it anyway, but they do think it's like one of the only few working class things that you could do in the entertainment industry, innit? It's very bizarre why that is though. Why we get the assumption it's working class. Maybe because they go and perform in dingy bars or something and they just wear like, everyday clothes and whatnot. Maybe that's the reason why, which is probably the reason why people get really upset when comedians go super glitzy and start wearing colorful suits and start doing it in flipping stadiums and whatnot and flying in helicopters, because it takes away from that idea, and also you kind of lose relatability, or whatever that may be that term is called. I'm not sure whatever it's called. Anyway, we continue. It says here, comedian Tim Dillon slaps down $4 million for Hamptons spread. Funnily enough, in the entire article, there's no picture of the actual house itself, so that's a good thing because I think these articles are super doxy in the way that they put them together. Like, oh, here's this person's new house. It's like, bruv, like, what are you doing? You're basically putting a target on their back. You know how nutty people are these days, but whatever, we move. I'm probably not helping things either, but hey, content. It says here, don't be surprised if you spot comedian podcaster Tim Dillon milling about in East End this summer with his mocktail in hand. He doesn't drink. That's why it's called a mocktail. Whoops! Dillon, once called a parent to counterculture great like George Carlin, recently closed a 3.98 million Southampton home, down from its 4.5 mil asking price, just in time for the Memorial Day weekend. The traditional shingle style home was built in 2001, was recently renovated and within walking distance of the village. The 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom home sits on just over 1 acre. It features a chef's kitchen, a double-height living room with 18-foot ceilings and 2 fireplaces. The landscaped outdoor space boasts a large saltwater pool, sounds lovely, a cedar mahogany deck patio, and a grill. There's also a bonus loft living room with 12-foot beam ceilings above the 4-car garage. Pretty decent, isn't it? And I'm assuming, like most things in America, like most things in America, the retailer, retailer or whatever, what do you call them? We call them here estate agents, but you call them realtor, right, over there? I'm assuming the estate agent in America was the one that leaked this information to everybody. Similar to how you guys have those guys in jails and prisons who, for some reason, are allowed to leak the flipping mugshots of people when they get arrested. I've never really understood that. Like, why are you allowed to leak a mugshot of somebody that gets arrested? Is it because it's part of the public record or something? It's very, very, very bizarre. They seem to get it instantly. As soon as somebody's famous is arrested for a DUI, domestic violence, disturbance in a store, civil disobedience, whatever it may be called, bam, there's their mugshot in full HD on flipping TMZ with a watermark on it, which means most likely they paid for it or it exclusively was given to them. I don't think it was given, but it's definitely something they paid for. And I'm assuming, how much do you reckon they pay for mugshots? $100? $1,000? $10,000? I'd assume it depends. It depends on the celebrity involved, right? If it's flipping OJ and he's been arrested for beating up some woman, that's gonna be a big case, isn't it? Because people want him to go down for what he allegedly got away with. But if it's flipping some minor Disney star that no one cares about, it might be just $100 or a lunch coupon or something, innit? But yeah, I thought this was really cool. On one side, like I said, I think I think comedians do a really good job of concealing their wealth. The fact that it's called an exclusive as well is super, super lame. But anyway, comedians do a good job of concealing their wealth, more so than I think the area of interest that I'm in, which is DJs in dance music. I think DJs in dance music because it's such a scrubby profession, when you do start making money, you want people to know. They start flying private. You start seeing them wear Gucci shirts all the time. You start seeing them carry their records in Rimowa bags. They're taking flipping Uber X's everywhere. You see a clear difference in their lifestyle. Like they clearly, okay, this person's got money, right? And usually their attitude completely changes. They're the kind of person who'll probably end up doing play graves. You know what I mean? The peak of the pandemic, they were flying around all over the world, performing in Bali, Mexico, India, leaving a flipping trail of bodies, not giving absolute crap about it, even though they get paid 30k flipping per set to perform for 1 hour of other people's music. Insane. So comedians do a good job of concealing their wealth. They also do a good job of not really revealing where they live. Apart from the bait ones who love social media like Bert Kreischer, Brendan Schaub and stuff, most comedians are cool with like kind of keeping where they live and all that stuff outside of the public realm and whatnot. And yeah, just enjoying their money for all intents and purposes. I do remember one time though, weird thing, anecdote to say. I do remember one comedian saying randomly that it's not good for a stand-up comedian to reveal or to say on stage as part of their material anything to do with their job. So if you're a comedian and you're pursuing stand-up, you shouldn't mention that you're like you're full-time employed somewhere or even part-time employed. You should leave the illusion up there that you're just this guy who's like, living the stand-up comedian life or whatnot and being a bit of a vagabond and traveling all around the place or whatever it may be. I don't know why that is particularly, but that might go to the reason why it might be looked at as a working class profession. Because in our head as an audience member, we somehow think that they just get up there and just riff off off the seat of their off the cuff of their pants and just make it up on the way. When really it's something that they practice. They kind of they edit their material all the time. They're working on their bits, on their closes, all that all over. But whatever reason, we think they just get up there drunkenly and just kind of stumble through some jokes. Obviously, some of them do, but for the most part, it's something that you actually work on for a long, long time. But I do wonder why that is a working class profession. If any of you guys have an idea why people think stand-up comedy is working class profession, let me know in the comments below. What are you guys saying in the chat? The camera looks fine. Thank you so much. Jake says, when do I fast until? I usually do 18-hour fasting. So at the moment, I think my fast lasts until my time, 4 p.m. or something. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, see? I use this app called Zero. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? It's this app called Zero that I use, right? Let me get it there. Sorry. It's app called Zero. And basically on this app, you can select different sort of fasts that you want to be on in terms of times, and then from there you obviously then just click start fast, and then whenever it finishes, whenever the time elapses, you click end fast, and then you start eating, and it tracks everything. And at the moment I'm doing 18-6, so I'm doing 18 hours of fasting, 6 hours of eating in a window. And for me it's been pretty much of a bit of a godsend, because in general, part of the reason why I end up gaining a lot of weight is because I end up being sedentary. I'm not really moving around as much as I would like to. I don't do enough cardio. Even though I used to run half marathons and marathons all the time, I get a little bit lazy to go out and run. And also, I end up snacking too much. My overall diet's not that bad, but it's just my snacking that really trumps me. So I snack like throughout the day, little stuff here and there. But if I eat within a 6 hour window, it limits my snacking. I don't really snack that much because there's not enough time to snack in 6 hours, because half that time I'm working, half that time I'm about. Do you know what I mean? It's not really conducive to it. And also, if I'm going to fast for 18 hours, I don't want to then waste it and make it flipping make it not be beneficial to me by just snacking on fucking croissants and shit. Or as Mo says, or snacking on flipping chicken tingers. I don't want to do that either. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be drowning in tingers in my life. Actually, how many times have I actually had a chicken tinger? I'm gonna say maybe once or twice, because I've had a chicken jalfrezi a couple of times, because the Indian food here in the UK is phenomenal. We've got a street here called Brick Lane where they sell some of the best Indian food you've ever encountered. Actually in that whole area, Shoreditch, Bethnal Green, Mile End, Brick Lane sort of area, there's loads of really amazing great Asian food or Indian food, specifically. And I would say I've probably had a chicken jalfrezi more so than I've had a chicken tinga. But yeah, good stuff. I'm not gonna lie, very good stuff. It's just really heavy. That's the only thing. It's just really heavy. Anyway, What else are you guys saying? Tim mentioned this article. Oh yeah, sick. Journalism is dead. Yep. Buddy, you deserve success. Thank you, Sunil Pan. Another one, JJFFPPP says Tim Dillon lost real estate license for screwing people. Yeah, he probably did, mate. He seems like a shifty character anyway. I'm glad he found stand up because if not, he would definitely been if Tim Dillon didn't find stand up, he would have definitely been that Fire Island guy. Was it Fire Island? What was that thing called? He definitely would have been one of those guys selling flipping shifty NFTs for real estate NFTs, selling vehicle NFTs, all that sort of madness. You know what I mean? Another person here, the 18 hours. Damn, yep, big up. To be honest, I don't do it to be impressive. I'm not trying to be Brendan Schaub here saying I drink 14 shots of coffee. It just works for me in terms of 18 hours. 6 and stuff is just too short. The other ones are too short. There's 16. I think the other one might be 10 or 12. But for me, 18 works pretty well. So I'm not doing this to show off or anything. Don't mistake my token. You just asked me, so I just kind of spoke about it. Oh, we got a super chat. Big up Minor. Why isn't it sounding anymore? Why don't I hear the sound of my super chat anymore? This is really annoying. Oh, there you go. It's come super late. Big up Minor A Calderon. It says big for $4.99. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. It says the following. Big fan from Los Angeles. Haha. Home of Schaub extravaganza. Oh, yeah, man. Big up Los Angeles. Los Angeles. I was there in 2017 or 2016, 2015. One of those years. It doesn't matter what year it was. It was a long time ago. Anyway, I remember going there and I went to the Laugh Factory. I went to the Comedy Store. I actually stayed in a hostel, weirdly enough. I stayed in this hostel. I was actually there for work or there for enjoyment? Yeah, I was there for enjoyment. I was there actually to go visit I was there to go see the Odd Future, the Golf Wang Festival. You know that one? So Tyler the Creator puts together like a festival called Golf Wang, and I went to go check that out. I think it was the second year. That was super good. And then I also, went there to hang out, see the Comedy Store that I've always been obsessed with, and obviously go do a bit of hiking, got Runyon Canyon, eat some great food. I went to Rainbow Bar and Grill. If you guys know that, super super cool. Oh yeah, but the hostel was lovely. I stayed in a hostel called I think the Generator Hostel or something in LA, and there were so many random weirdos I met there. And then I discovered that there's a subset of homeless people which I didn't know about. I discovered a subset of homeless people who jump around from hostel to hostel. I found a couple of English dudes who were from actually London, actually living out there, who were legitimately homeless, who were living there. And basically, they were trying to hook up with girls so they could have places to stay, or they were just trying to fleece the guys for money in like weird, kind of underhand ways. But there was a very strange, like homeless kind of vibe to that hostel. I'm not going to lie. Very, very bizarre place to be. But I met some really cool people, loads of great Australians and New Zealanders, guys that I'm still friends with now on Instagram and whatnot. So that was absolutely amazing. One of the guys that we were with actually got fleeced for some coke. We were on the way to go to Rainbow Bar and Grill, and this black guy who looked like a pimp, he had like a hat on and a cane, and he was walking in front of us, and he was kind of like whispering, yeah, coke, 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 whatever. And one of the guys in the crew wanted it, so he legitimately went to he asked the guy if he could buy some. The guy obviously ended up selling him some on the street, just like as we were walking. And then as we're walking down the street, the kid, I think he's from New Zealand or something, was smart enough to open the package to double check it, and it was flipping chalk. Like he legitimately just had chalk and just rubbed it into a bit of plastic, and he gave it to him. And then luckily the guy was able to like find the pimp and run back to him and get his money back off him before he threatened to beat him up. But it was pretty funny. This guy just like fleeced us, like I think it was the first night or maybe the second night, us being in LA, walking along the strip or whatnot, just hanging out, having a good time. And then one of the guys got a bit excited, wanted to get some booger sugar, and then he ended up nearly getting fleeced for some chalk. that was one of that was okay, cool. We're definitely in LA. Yeah, I mean, we're already getting fleeced by flipping pimps out here. Absolutely impressive. I'm not going to lie. But yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. R.I.P. the victims of Texas, man. God damn, the gun laws in the US, man. I don't know if you guys are having that conversation about how many more children need to die before you guys actually make a change in your gun laws there. But I'm assuming because this happened on the border of United States and Texas, sorry, the United States and Mexico, and from what I see on the news articles, it involved predominantly brown people. No one's really gonna care, and no real substantial change to gun laws is gonna happen because I always thought when nothing happened when Sandy Hook happened, when there was no real change in the gun laws from again from an outsider, from someone that doesn't really pay too much attention to US politics. I always assumed when there was no real big change on that, that was really the end. That was the beginning of the end. Do you know what I mean? That was the beginning of the end. When no one made a change with Sandy Hook, considering a majority of the victims were, little white kids, I thought, okay, cool. They're definitely not going to care if it happens in, majority black and brown neighborhoods. They're not going to give an absolute Scooby. But this is, courtesy of the BBC. Texas shooting, 19 now confirmed. Before it was 18. Oh my God. 19 children among dead in a primary school attack. Jesus Christ, man. Imagine getting that call. 19 young children and 2 adults died in the shooting at primary school in Texas. The gunman opened fire at Robb Elementary Primary School, which teaches children aged 7 to 10 in the city of Uvalde, before he was killed by law enforcement. The 18-year-old suspect had a handgun, an AR-15, semi-automatic rifle, and his high-capacity magazine, investigators say. Why was this kid killed and the other one wasn't? Should we start that conspiracy? That because he's a brown kid, that most likely that's why they killed him, as opposed to the other kid was white? The teenager suspected of shooting his grandmother before the rampage. Mamma mia. Local media report he may have been a high school student in the area. Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Chief of Police, Jesus Christ, Peter Arredondo, said the shooting began at 11:32 and that the investigators believe the attacker did act alone during the heinous crime. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said the shooter, who named as Salvador Ramos, abandoned a vehicle before entering the school to horrifically and incomprehensibly open fire. 2 children killed in the school shooting have been identified by U.S. media. The 5 members of the confirmed dead of the 10-year-old Xavier Lopez and Amory Garza in statements. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Holy smokes. Javier Lopez, 10, was a 4th grader in Robb Elementary. His family confirms he's dead. Look at how cute this kid is. 10 years old. Holy smokes, man. What is it, the gun laws again in America? Is it the 5th Amendment or the First Amendment? I don't know what amendment it is, but you guys must... That amendment, whatever it is, must be really ingrained in the identity of the United States to be in a position now where kids can legitimately die at the hands of other kids, 18-year-old killing other children, basically, a teenager, right? And it not make any real change or really spurn people to be like, okay, cool, enough's enough. Of Second Amendment. Like, why doesn't that happen? I wonder why that is. Why is the Second Amendment so sacred? The ability to bear arms. I guess there's a good thinking behind it, right? The idea is, if I'm not mistaken, like, your right to bear arms is basically your right to protect yourself against a tyrannical government. In case something happens, God forbid, where you get somebody, you elect somebody who ends up being an absolute tyrant, you have the ability to basically overthrow them. That's the kind of fanciful way that I remember it being. And you don't, you can basically govern yourself in some way, shape, or form. But when you're seeing 10-year-old bodies drops like that, surely something has to be done. But it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it didn't happen with Sandy Hook, I don't think it's going to happen with this school where it looked like a majority, kids that came from some sort of Hispanic background. Holy smokes. Angel Garza said on Facebook that his daughter Amarie has been killed. Mamma mia. My little love is now flying high with the angels above. Please don't take a second for granted. Hug your family. Tell them you love them. That is no way for a kid to pass away. In a school, school should be the safest place for kids. The safest place. Amongst their friends, amongst teachers who are going to teach them things that hopefully should benefit and enrich them in their life. A chance for the parents to get some respite. A chance for the kids to grow and to make new friends. That shouldn't be a place where you should be fearing for their life. One of the adults killed was a teacher named in US media as Eva Mireles. Her page on the school district's website said she has a daughter in the college and loved running and hiking. Nearly 300 pupils are enrolled in the primary school, Hispanic school, around 85 kilometers southwest of the San Antonio. So for him to only kill 18 or 19 out of 500 is really good in some way, shape, or form. It's still horrific, but the fact that he only got to 19 is pretty impressive. That must mean there must have been some sort of sheriff or a local police station there near that was able to respond pretty quickly, because he should have probably ended up tallying up way more numbers than that in it. God damn it. What people saying in the chat? Oh, it's a Second Amendment. Why Serious says, oh, the hunters, the OFC, it's also against the law to smack someone, yet this happens. Oh yeah, true. Very, very true. Until we face no, the last killer didn't kill. I'm talking about the last killer I'm talking about is the one in Buffalo, New York, the one in that supermarket. Um, in that kind of hood market that was only the only shop in the flipping area, and he specifically targeted it because loads of black people go there to go and do their weekly whatever shopping and whatnot. He didn't get killed. He got taken in really, really calmly. He got taken in like he shoplifted some stuff in the shop or something. Do you know what I mean? Had his hands up, they were searching him really calm, talking to him. He didn't get roughed up at all. He didn't get pushed on the floor. He didn't get a knee to the back. Nothing. Absolutely heinous. Um, Another person says, yes, without second, yes. Jeff said, yes, without the Second Amendment, we are all victims of tyranny. It's funny how America is the only country that needs some sort of mechanism against tyranny. All us, everybody else, all of the rest of us around the world, we just have to put up with it. If we have a tyrannical government, what can we do? We can just have placards that we hold up, little cards on wooden sticks, waving it around places, hoping that they recognize it, kind of pay attention to us. Only Americans have the right to, to actually defend themselves with deadly force. There were one other person says, Banana Joe says, gun laws just stop good people from getting guns. Gun laws just stop good people from getting them. The criminals don't care about the law. The only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Oh, that's a good point. Very, very good point. Because I'm assuming, like most things in the United States, even though you got the laws in place, you got the checks and balances to ensure only people that should be having guns get the guns. The reality is, if you want to get a gun, you can get one. It's similar to the UK. There is a ban, or no, there is not a ban. You get punished, and you might get some prison time if you have a knife over a certain amount, length or whatnot. But you can still buy the knife. I mean, you just have to make sure you don't get caught with it. But yeah, let's continue. There's Biden, of course, looking sleepy and ditzy and no idea where he is. But when are we going to stand to the gun lobby? When are you going to stand to the gun lobby, mate? Aren't you the president? Maybe you do something. Anyway, Associated Press news agency reports that a U.S. Border Patrol officer who was nearby when the shooting began rushed to the school and shot and killed the gunman. See, that's what I mean. The fact that he only got to 19 out of 500 definitely meant there was definitely someone near, and good to hear that. So, big up that U.S. Border Patrol officer. Border Patrol is a federal agency of the U.S. Oh, cool. We don't need to know that. BBC always telling us a nonsense thing. 2 Border Patrol agents were reportedly shot in exchange with a gunman. 1 agent is shot in the head. Wow. Adding that both were now in stable condition. I never understood how that could happen. Maybe he carried a helmet. How can people get shot and still survive? It happens a lot in America. People get shot in point blank range and they somehow survive. Like, obviously 50 Cent being the best example. And this guy got shot in the head. When they say, or maybe it's a semantic thing, they don't mean he actually got shot in the head. He might have had some shrapnel or something. It's bizarre he can get shot and still be alive. Like, what? According to CBS News, the attacker was wearing a body armor as he carried out the attack. Another 18-year-old who was suspected of attacking a grocery store in Buffalo was also wearing a body armor and carrying a self-automatic rifle. Both are commercially available in the US. The Uvalde Memorial Hospital posted on Facebook earlier that 13 children are taken to the hospital via ambulance or buses. Bloody hell. A 66-year-old woman and a 10-year-old girl were in critical condition at the hospital in San Antonio. University Health Hospital officials have said. Absolutely disgusting and heinous. And like I said, like, if y'all guys over there can't change your gun laws over 10-year-olds dying, it's never going to change, is it? It's never going to change. But I don't know. Again, this is way above my pay grade and a level of understanding. I'm sure there's something way more complex to it. Because at the end of the day, it feels like the people who are lobbying against guns are basically saying you just shouldn't have guns overall. They should outlaw them, right? I don't think there's any other... How else can you enforce some sort of gun restrictions in the US that makes sense? You're going to have to go physically around people's houses and take guns off of them. Good luck. Good luck. Do you know what I mean? Good luck going to someone's house, knocking on them and say, hey, by the way, we need to take your gun away because you might kill a 10-year-old. They'll be like, no, I won't. You need to stop the bad guys and the bad kids killing 10-year-olds, but I'm not, and I'm not giving this to you. You're going to take this off my flipping dead hands. You know what I mean? that kind of stuff. So but yeah, that is really really bad, and I don't want to start off that way. But someone mentioned it in the comments, so um I want to move. What's Jeff said? I think your opinion is as such only because you were raised to hate firearms freedom. No, 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 no. I don't hate firearms. You're mistaking me. I actually am a big fan of guns. I would love to go to a shooting range. I honestly would love to go to a gun range when I eventually do go back to the United States. And I probably, because I want to go back to the United States, I want to go to mostly middle America. I don't really want to go to the coastal areas anymore, like New York and LA, because it's essentially like flipping. It's essentially like living in London. There's no real difference. I want to actually experience everyday American life, right? So I would love to go to Middle America. Like a place like Texas would be good. And I'd love to go to a gun range. I'd love to go to an authentic cafe and all that stuff, whatever it may be. I don't mind guns. I'm just saying, why does it seem to happen a lot in America? All of these shootings, these mass shootings involving shopping malls, concerts, and schools and shit, and some of it's involving kids or mentally disturbed adults. Like, what's going on? And is there something that can be done to stop it, or is this just a or is this just part of the process or part of like everyday life? Like if you have guns and you have people that suffer from mental illness, they might pick up the gun and this might happen. What is the cause? What is the solution? That's all I'm saying. I was saying I don't like guns. Of course, who wouldn't like guns? Guns are amazing in some way, shape, or form. The invention of guns is pretty cool. People are mentioning here in the chat that people have guns in their own culture, from the Balkans. Um, you know, Jake saying the only guy they have is a boomerang. But yeah. I'm a troll because I agree with freedom, Second Amendment freedom, really, or just because you're more American than you think. Okay, who knows? Whatever. But yeah, RIP all the kids that died in Texas. That is an absolute shame. Hopefully something changes. I doubt it will, because again, the gun laws in America seem to be very complex. They seem to be involving many, many different sides of politics that probably are never going to be separated or split. It's way above my pay grade. I don't know how to solve this stuff. I'm just a silly podcaster who talks out of his ass. So we move. Next on the list, quickly, we want to mention the ScreenRant did Bryan Callen absolutely dirty for no reason whatsoever. This random article popped up on ScreenRant, a website I actually used to check quite often back in the day because they'd always, have good information concerning movies coming up, TV series and stuff, whatnot. Then over time, I started to not check it out because number one, they had this really aggressive ad blocker that wouldn't let you read a site unless you put them on a whitelist. Now they don't have it anymore because I still got ad block on and it's still working. But back in the day, there's something happened that they had that aggressive ad block that you couldn't take off. Then they started to become a bit of a shill website where they started to, speak glowingly about horrible series like Star Trek and all this new Discovery, all these garbage shows that are legitimately terrible. They started to talk about them in glowing terms of like, okay, cool. This website has now become ideologically possessed and politically mined. I'm like, no thanks, I'm going to be mining out of it. But I'm assuming in the movie television scene, it's probably still a good and well regarded website similar to Variety and Deadline because it sometimes reports on industry news also, like who's going to be casting what, who's going to be writing what, who's going to be directing what, who's going to be producing what, blah 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 blah. So when they put articles like this together, this is a big deal because essentially this is a mouthpiece of the industry, telling the industry something that they think that they should know. And the fact that they said this about Bryan Callen is absolutely heinous, really really heinous. Like, what's the point of this? He's not around in, he's not around in mainstream culture or whatnot. He's trying his best doing what he's doing at the moment. He's obviously in the middle in the shitstorm of the Lee 2 Tiger Belly drama, and they posted this. Why the Goldbergs replaced Coach Miller, Bryan Callen in season 10. They even put his name there in brackets. And this was published 3 days ago. So a recent article, absolutely out of order. There is a lingering question of why Coach Miller, Bryan Callen, was replaced in the Goldberg season 10. A major player in the Goldbergs' lives, Coach Miller, was surprisingly absent from the upcoming season 10. The long-running ABC series confirmed as renewed for an impressive 10th season, decided to stay away from Callen for his current production. Surpassing the watershed 200 episode mark, ABC's 1980s set comedy The Goldbergs had added to the list is now comedian Bryan Callen, whose memorable portrayal of the physical education coach Rick Miller will now be missing from the show. Callen debuted on Goldberg season 1, however, he's no longer on the network. Imagine how brutal that must be, because if I remember the time of listening to TFATK, he was for a long, long time, Bryan Callen was trying to make it in Hollywood again. He had been very unsuccessful here and there. He had some successes here and there, but then he finally burst when he got that little cameo on flipping the Joker. That was, a millisecond. Then he got announced that he was going to be on the Goldbergs, and out of nowhere, he got a little spin-off show that he was casting called Schooled. Things were on the up and up for this guy, right? But something happened, right? In the middle of that, something happened, right? That obviously made it all come crashing down. And it really, to be honest, as heinous as what he got accused of, it was kind of sad to see it happening from the outside in. I'm not going to lie. Because it felt like he finally got to achieve his dreams. He finally got some monicum of success that he could be like, yes, I've done it on my own. I've got my own starring role. It's not a cameo in some, rom-com or a comedy movie or something. It's an actual thing that I'm doing on my own, of the ability of me to act and whatnot. And then, boom, it gets taken out. It obviously gets taken away from him. But it's happened ages ago, and then they bring it up again. It's horrible. The Goldberg season 10 replaced Coach Miller. Again, they keep repeating the same things again and again, these articles. What the fuck is wrong with this? Namely accusations of sexual assault and misconduct against the actor came to light. Thailand's denied the allegation, but multiple women came forward with numerous stories about their experiences with sexual assault or harassment from Callen. With so many accusations against him, it was best. So, who's writing this? The people from the Goldbergs, or is it flipping ScreenRant? They're saying it's best for the Goldbergs to show Callen the door. Luckily, there was already a perfect replacement for Coach Miller. Rick Miller's brother was introduced in the Goldbergs as Coach Nick Miller, played by professional wrestling legend Bill Goldberg. Oh, that's is that Stone Cold Bill Goldberg, or is that that's Goldberg, actual Goldberg, isn't it? Stepping into the role in a satisfactory way, it was simply the best time to exit for Callen, mirroring how Jeff Carling left the Goldbergs. Oh man, bless. Anyway, so too many, but yeah. So ScreenRant's a piece of shit, really. Again, I rag on these guys a lot, but this is a piece of shit article. There was absolutely no need to mention Callen again, considering that his life is already in shambles at the moment, and he's still basically purposely trying to throw himself into a volcano again with this Bobby Lee drama happening with Khalyla and whatnot, and him being the mastermind behind Reddit and all this sort of nonsense. But I think this is completely unnecessary. So fuck ScreenRant. They're a piece of shit website. I stopped reading them myself anyway, and it looks like they're purposely trying to bury somebody who's already buried. You don't get any extra bonus points for pushing somebody who's already down the hill, man. Absolute madness. It's madness. Madness. We continue here. People are still talking about guns. I'm sorry that I brought up that subject at the beginning of the show. I really am. I know I probably set the mood in the bad precedent here. I really do apologize. If you don't like that conversation, come back later. But yeah, I just had to mention it because there's a flipping elephant in the room. It's happened quite recently, just the other day. So yeah, apologies for that. Apologies for that. Next, quickly, I wanted to double check this. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but I thought this was very interesting. And I want to know how you guys think. What, someone said in the chat? I want Khalyla's niece. Who, that little girl? What's her name? Georgie, what's her name again? What's her name? What's Khalyla's niece? Isn't she like 16 or something? Bruh. I don't know if I condone that on my chat, man. I don't know if I condone that in my chat. I don't know if I condone that in my chat. I think she might be 16, brother. Rudy. Okay, Rudy. Is she 16? Her name is Jules. Look at these guys that have nicknames for her. Look at you guys. Look at you guys with the nicknames for her. Flipping horror. Oh, she's 19. Okay. All right. Fair enough. But you do that in your own time, okay? Don't get me involved in your Crystalia moves, mate. I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that. Anyway, let's quickly move on. I want to know from you guys, when's the last time you have done something really scummy to somebody that you was interested in, right? Whether it's the opposite sex or the same sex. When's the last time you did someone really dirty? This is an article that I randomly saw on the Daily Mail. Liam Payne, who is an ex-member of One Direction, you know that band, formerly with Harry Styles, shows off new girlfriend Elena Maula as couple make their first public appearance in the UK, weeks after One Direction star broke off engagement to heartbroken model Maya Henry. I'm not going to read the entire article, but essentially, from what I can understand, this guy who used to be in One Direction, is now dating this little hottie. But the reason why this is hilarious, right, is that he was engaged to this lady, and they were engaged, I think, twice or something, and then they got back together again. And she found out through Instagram that they were not engaged anymore, because the lady that's above posted this picture of her getting hugged by Liam, and all the fans kept tagging this girl, thinking it was her in the picture. Like, oh my God, they're so cute together. And she was like, guys, it's not me. Please stop tagging me in this picture. So I want to know, how dirty have you ever done somebody? How dirty have you done someone? I've not done someone this dirty because I guess I don't look like this, so you don't have the ability to, do people dirty when you don't have the ability to get, most women to, slob on your knob. But what's the dirtiest thing that you've done to somebody? The dirtiest thing I think I've done to somebody was back in the day, a very long time ago. I must have been like 17 or 16. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but back in the day in the UK, we had this thing called Black Chat. And it was like this online, it was a web-based, it was a browser chat thing where had these different rooms with what people thought were all black people, but it was definitely everyone from around the world, probably trolls. And essentially you could talk to people in this chat room, and you could basically have your little private chats with people, and maybe, end up, getting their what was it, their MSN thing, to then chat to them privately. And I ended up chatting to one girl, and then, I ended up finding out she's from London and all that sort of stuff. We live close together. I think she might live in South. We ended up arranging a date to go meet each other. And legitimately, I swear on my life, right? This girl on the desktop client, on her avatar, and again, I should have known it, but this was before Catfish a show. This is before even the catfish term was even popularized. I didn't even know what catfish even meant. On her avatar of her image on the chat thing, she looked like a dark-skinned version of Christina Milian. That's what she looked like. A dark-skinned version of Christina Milian, right? Dark-skinned version of it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm lucked out. I'm going to meet this girl, a little cute, short baddie, looks like Christina Milian. Like, it's going to be amazing. We end up meeting at the cinema, right? And end up, let's meet at the cinema. And I didn't do this purposely, but where we went to go meet at the station, there was like a McDonald's or a Burger King near the station that kind of overlooked where the station was. So I purposely waited in there so I could see her coming out, so I could come meet her when she came down. She comes out of the station, and I'm like, oh, where are you? She's like, oh, I'm here. Text me, where? I can't see you, because I'm looking for the dark-skinned version of Christina Milian. Then I see who it is. I see her walking, and I'm like, no way. She looked nothing like a dark-skinned Christina Milian. She looked completely different. Incredibly not to my taste, so I just left. I had a Nokia, I just turned it off and just left. And at the time I felt so bad. But looking back, it's probably for the best, because nothing was ever going to happen anyway, because I wasn't interested from the moment I saw her come out of the station. But I just left. That's the only scummy thing that I've done. And I have not really been given the opportunity to do anything else scummier, because, I don't have the ability that Liam Payne does to pull all these baddies. But I remember leaving and just thinking, damn, man, she walked all this way, she got dressed up, put her makeup on and whatnot, wanted to come and hang out, and I just ducked out. Just left. But yeah, anyway, big up Liam Payne, innit? Imagine breaking... Only celebrities can do this to people, innit, right? Only celebrities can do this to people. Celebrities can just... You've got a girlfriend. Sorry. You've got a fiancé, not a girlfriend. You've got a fiancé, this one here, who's pretty good looking herself, right? What's her name? Her name is Maya. You got this lady called Maya. He might have a thing for Hispanic ladies, it looks like. And then all of a sudden you get bored of Maya. You're like, fuck this. You jump onto this lady and you just announce it on Instagram without even telling you. Because us normal guys, we have to text our partners. We have to organize a meet-up. We have to... I've heard of some of my friends doing the absolute madness. Some of my friends will take their partner out for dinner and then tell them that they're going to break up with them. It's like, how are you going to take someone out for food and then tell them you're going to break up with them? That's not the best way to enjoy a meal, do you know what I mean? But we have to take them out for dinner. We have to call them. We have to text them. We have to write them a letter. We might have to go to their parents' house and break. We have to do something. We have to confront the news. But when you're a celebrity, you can just announce it like this on Instagram stories. And then just like go on holiday with them. The next thing he does is go on holiday with absolute scumbag, innit? Absolute scumbag, mate. Look at that. He just like turned up with a new girl on Instagram. Absolutely amazing, man. But anyway, big up. Yeah, exactly. Inca coming to my hotel room. Honestly, big up Liam Payne, man. Big up Liam Payne. Absolute psychopath, man. Big up Liam Payne. Anyway, quickly, we move on to all the stuff I spoke about in the subject line. Thank you for bearing with me. The next one I want to talk about is a pretty horrific but also semi-hilarious, because you have to find the human something story. Again for the Daily Mail. Daily Mail has got all the flipping nonsense, garbage, random stories that I need. It says the following. This is courtesy of Daily Mail. I thought he was asleep. He still had a guitar in his hand. Comedian Kate Quigley recalls horrific moment she woke up from a 17-hour blackout to find her friends dead after fentanyl-laced cocaine overdose, which killed 3 and left her hospitalized. I'm sure most of you are aware when this story came to light, all over, LA podcast scene, whatever community, because Kate Quigley is somebody that a lot of you might know. I know of predominantly through the Joey Diaz podcast, and I always thought she was pretty funny and interesting on that show. I'm not going to lie, even though she does talk excessively about her sexuality and fucking guys and whatnot, I still did think as a guest she was always really funny. Her and Joey Diaz clearly had a real kind of family-ish kind of bond. She treated him like his uncle, he treated her like a niece, so it was a really cool communication between them on the podcast and whatnot. And just in general, I thought she was just a general good egg. But you could tell she was a girl that likes to party. You could tell she was a party girl. She liked to go out, liked to have some fun. But I didn't know it was this bad, right? In my opinion, I didn't know it was this bad. I used to be a party girl, maybe a fun time, but I didn't know it was this bad. And then when you heard the story, it was horrific. Because the first thing I thought straight away, I was like, God damn. Imagine having survivor's remorse. Because imagine if you're like the least funny and the least experienced comedian of the group, and you're the one that ends up surviving. Like, yikes. But just in general, too, they're your friends. You end up having a little bit of a boozy night, end up partying, buying some coke in a hotel room, playing some music, hanging around, maybe writing jokes, maybe you're on the TFATK subreddit, and all of a sudden you wake up at 17 hours later and all your friends have got foam in their mouth and they're clearly unresponsive and don't got a heartbeat. Horrific, horrific, horrific stuff. Anyway, the article says the following. Comedian Kate Quigley has opened up about the horrific moment she woke up from a 17-hour blackout and realized one of her friends was dead from fentanyl overdose, which killed 3 people in total and left her hospitalized. Quigley was found by the first responders in a critical condition at her 1.8 million rental home in Venice, California, on September the 4th, after allegedly ingesting cocaine that was laced with fentanyl. Yo, fentanyl-laced cocaine dealers need to go to hell. Because from what I've heard, fentanyl is a good substitute for what's the other things they put in it? No, but it's not barbiturates. It's that benzos and I've got the other stuff they put in flipping coke to basically increase its mass, right? So you cut it down, and if you have like 0.4 grams of real coke, you add in 2 grams of fake shit, and then it obviously fluffs it up to 0.6, and then you lie that 0.6 is obviously full cocaine. Fentanyl, from what I've heard, you only need to put a tiny bit into the coke, and it actually makes it more potent. So when you're sniffing it, it hits you harder, and you feel like it's better coke. But then it obviously stretches out the coke more. So if you're a dealer, you can end up selling more you can end up selling more of it for more money without actually letting go of your good product. And if you're the person selling it from the brick with fentanyl laced in it, it also increases your margins. So that's the reason why people do it. But because coke is such a prevalent drug, a first-class drug in all parts of society, whether it's the highest of the brows, the lowest of the lows have coke, I think it's ridiculous to sell people cocaine that's laced with fentanyl because everyone's taking coke, so you're essentially putting everyone at risk. I think that's horrendous. It continues. Her fellow comics, Enrico Conlagli, 48, Faquan Johnson, 42, died alongside their friend Natalie Williams, 33. 3 people! Holy shit! At the home after the group reportedly snorted the lethal drugs together. She has now spoken out about the incident in the upcoming episode of Jacob Pinkett's show, Red Table Talk. Of course, Red Table Talk stays with the mess, recalling the moment that she first realized something was not right and revealing she lost consciousness for 17 hours. Imagine losing consciousness for 17 hours. That isn't just cocaine, bro. That is a boozy night. Maybe some other drugs are involved too. That is mad, bro. Mad, mad, mad. That's only God's grace shining on her that she woke up from her unconscious sleep, because 17 hours is a mad time to sleep. It continues here. Okay, that was a place in Venice. Looks lovely. R.I.P. man to Rico, boy. Jesus Christ. It says the following. I went to the bathroom, and on the way to the bathroom, I couldn't even button up my pants. I was already that disorientated. Okay, button, not button up, sorry. And I said, something's not right about this. I don't feel well. I knew right away something was wrong. I felt nauseous. I sat down, and that's the last thing I remember. Oh, you know what makes this more tragic? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Kate Quigley dating the black guy involved in this? I remember last time I checked her Instagram page like ages ago, because I think she was on Joe Diaz's show, and she was talking that she was, because Kate Quigley is always talking about her horrible dates, and maybe the fact that she's she hooks up with people too randomly and whatnot, and her dating life was too fucked up, and she was so happy about whoever she was dating. I think it might have been that black guy. She was like, oh my God, he's amazing, blah, 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 blah. She was like legitimately in love. She was glowing on the podcast. Listen to it. I'm sure she was dating the other guy involved. Imagine that, bro. Holy shit. Not only some of your best friends that you go out on tour with, who you pick up with, who you have good times with, also the guy that you're dating, who you legitimately are in love with, ends up passing away. Anyway, she said, I felt nauseous. I sat down, and that's the last thing I remember. Tearing up, an emotional Quigley said she then passed out in her chair around 6 a.m., waking up nearly 17 hours later, completely disoriented and confused. She says, I passed out on the chair, like sideways, and when I passed out, my legs stayed in the chair, my head hit the floor. So she was legitimately in a chair like that, like bent over in them. So that must have been an absolutely horrific sight for the first responders to flipping find when they got on the scene, right? Not only was Kate Quigley probably looking all disheveled, everyone else was probably, however they were sniffing coke or however they were lying or sitting down, is probably how they ended up passing away. So in a chair, lying down on the settee, like on the sink, like they must have been in some crazy positions. Oh my God, this is like a horror show. She says, and then she says, the first thing I thought, I swear to God, was, oh my God, why is it so dark? My doors are open. I was confused. I'm not a big drinker, and I've never blacked out. I was just confused. Come on. Why do people who always get in passive when it comes to drugs and alcohol always say this type of stuff? This is equivalent to like girls when they get asked about their cosmetic surgery. Be like, I've never had any. I've only had a boob job. I've only had a nose job. Come on. You don't get into this kind of scenario and you're not a big drinker. You don't suddenly end up in a Venice rental apartment on tour with 4 of your best friends picking up coke, and this is the first time you've got blackout drunk. Come on, girl. Come on. But people always do this. They always have like this little caveat. I'm not really a big drinker. I don't really do that many drugs. Like, you do. I couldn't feel my legs, but I thought they were asleep. I went to stand, and that's when I realized. As the former Playboy TV undercover host began to realize that had happened, she tried to wake her friend Rico, who was across from her. She said, it never crossed my mind that they were dead, because it looked like he was sleeping. It wasn't until she threw a shoe at him and he didn't wake up that she started to think something was seriously wrong. God damn, bruv. She probably threw a shoe at him, and knowing girls, because they're not good at throwing, they end up hitting you always in the face. That's what always happens when the girls throw stuff at you, because girls can't throw, but the first time they do throw something, it hits you flush in the face. She hit him in the face and he didn't move an inch. Yikes. Not even like a fidget. Shit. She recalled, I started to get scared. I started to say, hey, Rico, I just thought he was asleep. He even still had that guitar. He was holding the guitar in his hands. It never crossed my mind that he was dead because he didn't look dead. I called my uncle. I still thought Rico was okay until I threw a shoe at the door next to him and he didn't wake up. God almighty. Among the victims was Johnson, who was frequent performer at the Comedy Store performing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was dating this black guy. Who was this guy? What's his name? Johnson. I'm pretty sure she was dating him because I remember she's talking about him on podcast. That's an apartment. To be fair, the place does look like a lovely place to do coke. Not gonna lie. As bad as it might be to say, it does look like a great place to do it. Um, oh, I hate this woman. She's still talking. The terrified little girl. Fuck off, Jada Pinkett Smith. Anyway, I started to panic, and 2 minutes later, my uncle walked in and immediately walked over and touched him, and he was cold and called 911. What? The rest, I mean, see, this is the part that I had to talk about. Hard to talk about. It was horrific. The incident came amid a nationwide crisis over fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that is 10 to 180 to 100 times stronger than morphine and 50 times stronger than heroin. It is often added to drugs like cocaine or heroin to increase the potency and to make them more profitable. It can lead to overdose, and especially if the buyer doesn't know it's laced with it. But do people take fentanyl recreationally? As a comment for the chat, do people know? Do people take? Are people out there buying fentanyl on its own and then doing it recreationally? I'm sure they must be, right? What do you guys think? Because I don't know. Because from what I know, I just know it's being like a thing people putting into drugs to make it more potent. But are people out there legitimately buying fent so that they could do fent? I don't know how they take it. I don't know if it comes in crystal form, if they inject it. Yeah, they do. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. According to drug abuse statistics, less than zero point 0.0 ounces of fentanyl causes death. This is why fentanyl sounds very, very similar to GHB, which in my industry, in my area of expertise, which is techno music, dance music, electronic music, club culture, GHB, especially within the LGBTQ plus scene, is incredibly popular. And I remember seeing it for the first time when I went to a very popular nightclub, let's say, and I was in the toilets there with like 7 randoms, and they were all doing GHB, and hadn't seen it in my life. And what I remember them doing is getting out a bottle with a lid and then pouring this liquid into it from a syringe, and then handing it to people and then drinking it, like taking like a shot. And but they were being very precise about making sure it was only the measurement of that lid cup. And I think it might even been half a lid cup. It was really small. They're doing it scientifically. I was like, oh, this looks way too cracky for me to kind of get involved in. Do you know what I mean? Make it fun. I mean, this looks way too much work. And it's like doing it. I was like, okay, fair enough, have a good time. And it was only later on that I found out that was GHB. But GHB's been a real problem in the dance music scene because people, obviously, when you're going out to a club, you obviously got other drugs in you, most likely. You're probably drinking. You maybe, aren't hydrated. You probably aren't well fed. Loads of these things are probably going to, affecting how you are when you take that drug, and then you take it and you don't dose it properly, and then bang, it could be lethal. I remember the peak of the pandemic, a couple of people died, I think, in London. Because of GHB in nightclubs and stuff, especially underground ones and whatnot. I'm pretty sure a couple of sex parties, something that happened, or somebody got raped or something. Because that's something I've read is what people start doing. They start using GHB as a weird date rape thing because obviously it makes you black out and whatnot. But yeah, crazy. The rising death toll. But yeah, look, this is the people that passed away. Rico, fuck me, god damn it, man. That's the other guy too. Johnson. After the incident, Quigley spent a week in hospital. At the time, she said she was shocked and devastated by the loss of 3 of her friends in a touching Instagram post. I feel overwhelmed by the outpouring of kind messages and incredible gratitude to be surrounded by a strong community of friends, family, and colleagues, and fans who have offered support. Words could describe the pain I'm feeling. Johnson was a generous, loving soul. He was hilarious, supportive, incredibly authentic with the most infectious spirit. Rico was always filled with enthusiasm. And they made each other an undeniable mark on my life and livelihoods. She also defended herself after it claimed that she had taken a lot of heat for not saying something about her friends immediately after the deaths. Oh, really? People were getting at her for not coming out with the RIP, bruv. She was in the room where all 3 of her friends died, bruv. She thought they were still. That's the thing as well. She thought they were still alive because she just thought they were just drunk or whatnot. God damn it. I was really trying to stay alive for days. I'm still really focusing what happened. She explained in the post, it's not every day you wake up to find people dead in your house. I can't comment on who supplied what. The truth is, doesn't really matter. If you do any illegal drugs, you're basically signing a contract that says, I accept that I might die sooner than I would like. We all know that. I'm not posting to talk about details of what occurred. Fair enough. At the time, Colanglia's cousin Maria Spencer spoke to his son about the family's heartbreak over the death. Rico was incredibly loved by his entire family, will miss him more than words can describe. She remembered the cousin as not only a smart, talented comedian, but also a highly skilled carpenter who worked for the family's construction company. Jesus Christ, man. So all these people, so what, 3 people are dead, 2 of them are dead, right? Left Rico and Johnson. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm sure that's the guy she was dating. I'm pretty sure that was him. Oh, no. Sorry. Okay, the guy that she was dating was this guy. Darius Rucker, singer from Who in a Blowfish. Okay, cool. I think that was the guy she was talking about in the podcast. Maybe it wasn't Johnson. My bad. I take it back. Maybe this was the guy she was dating, and I guess they broke it off. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, but yeah, be careful with your drugs, innit? Be careful with your drugs out there, people. Be careful with your drugs. And also, yeah, just be careful with your drugs. To be fair, in the UK, people are getting into this whole drug testing thing. There's little kits that you can buy where you can test your drugs to make sure it is somewhat real. Oh, really? Is that person in the chat? Darius Rucker owns the house that's happening. Shit. So most likely they still were dating at the time then, if they're staying at the house. If he lent them the house to kind of stay in after whatever. God damn it. Yeah, big up Moses. Thank you for the 15k. Thank you for the congrats, by the way. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I owe it to all you guys. I'm at 15k anyway, so big up everyone that supporting the man. Big up everyone supporting. Anyway, let's quickly move on. Nothing else to talk about when it comes to that one. Quickly want to mention, what's this one? Who's posted this? Okay, this is courtesy of an account called Gordo Franz. This is courtesy of Gordo Franz on YouTube. Check out Gordo Franz. And this is as follows, the title. Mark Harley ratioed in his own comment section, Schaub's wingman. Okay, this is about BGL. So it's a random video about BGL in his comment section. Let's quickly check this out. I haven't actually watched this. Let's see what they're saying.
Quick update for you all in today's video. I really thought this whole Brendan Schaub situation was finished up, but it turns out his goons are after Khalyla and the Tiger Belly team still, so I wanted to make a quick video about it. And to provide some context, here's a quick clip from the Tiger Belly episode featuring Brendan Schaub, where Khalyla alludes to Brendan's friend slash assistant slash wingman, Mark Harley, who had been sending some DMs online. So let's have a listen.
I'm starting to see screenshots on Instagram of DMs of your cute little friend Mark confirming that you wanted to expose me.
I went to Mark and said, dude, you're making things way worse for me.
Okay.
Because he's trying to defend me. I went, you're not defending me. You're making it worse, giving her fuel, and me and her are talking. You don't need to do this.
I didn't mention this interaction in my previous videos because it sounded like it was over and that Brendan had talked to Mark and told him to stop making these types of comments. But newsflash, Mark hasn't stopped despite Brendan's wishes.
I also went on to defend my friend Brendan in his drama situation, in which I believe 100% he's in the right, and I will continue.
Why is he putting it in parentheses or in quotation marks? It's not drama. It is drama. What?
To defend him.
For reference, Mark is the host of the Haters Will Say podcast, which is actually a subsidy of Thick Boy Studios, so he is kind of suckled up to Brendan here, and he definitely has monetary incentive to defend Brendan. And in one podcast, he went on to basically say that Bryan and Brendan didn't actually bully Bobby Lee and Khalyla, and that they only apologized for wrongly saying that they were involved, but they didn't apologize for bullying at all, which is obviously silly. And in the comments section, he got ratioed in that video, which really isn't surprising because he even went as far as to say that Khalyla is a narcissist and a psychopath, even though to me personally, viewing his podcast, he really gives off way more narcissistic vibes. But that's just my opinion. Everyone can have their opinion, that's cool. But what isn't cool is making comments about mental health issues.
God damn it, bro. This guy speaks a lot online, innit? He's always typing some shit. How many lines of text has he put on these flipping replies? God damn. I don't know. Maybe it's a. Is it like a male thing? I don't know if it's just a male thing. I don't know if it's a male thing. Maybe because I'm a loner. But I've never in my entire life, especially nowadays, with my grown age, will ever meet somebody in the last 2 or 4, 3 years and then suddenly be online flipping, aggressively defending them like this, especially if they're not somebody that I've known for any length of time. I get the guy pays him. I get maybe he's given an opportunity to kind of, reignite his career or whatnot. But this is really kind of lame, innit? It's a bit lame, but maybe it's. I think I said in the other show, if there are people out there who are willing to bury Brendan in some way for everything that he does, it's also maybe good that he has somebody that's aggressively defending him also. You know what I mean? It's redacted, it's lame, he looks like a loser. you know, he's older than Brendan too, so there's that weird dynamic going on there. It's just bizarre. But hey, if he likes the guy a lot and he generally does think in his hearts of hearts he did nothing wrong, let him do it, innit?
And that's cool. But what isn't cool is making comments about mental health issues, which you can see on the screen here. I'm not going to say what he said, but kind of goes to show the level of maturity that he has making these types of jokes. And in his latest podcast episode, he got ratioed even further in his own comments section. I'll scroll through some of the comments here because I found it hilarious that on the Thick Boy...
Also, grown men saying ratioed leaves a nasty taste in my mouth, man. You're all dorks, bruv. Going through people's comments and seeing what they said. Just analyze the videos that get put out there. It is what it is. The videos are enough. Going through the comments, he said that, she said this. It's like, it's already R-worded that we're doing this whole thing, right? Of analyzing what they actually say on podcasts and reporting it like it's actually news that anyone cares about. It's another level of R-wordness when you're going through the comments and dissecting, oh, he only got 10 likes on that one. He got 2. It's like, come on, man, grow up. Oh, my God. Anyway, big up everyone involved. Mate, why aren't you at work? Bruv, mind your business. Why am I not at work? Mind your business. Don't be baiting up my spot, man. You're making it hot on the block. Don't hot up the spot, all right? Mind your business. Why am I not at work? Why aren't you at work? Why are you watching me? Hey? But why am I not at work? Come on. But yeah, let's move on for that one. I don't care. When it comes to BGL, I just don't care, man. I don't even have anything to say, constructive or not constructive. I just don't care. The guy is just look at him. Look at him. Why are you guys all bothered about this dude, man? Look at the guy. I don't know, man. It's just whatever, innit? This is what it is. We fall where we fall when it comes to men and how we place ourselves in lives and where we go and what we connect to. You know what I mean, innit? Like we are who we are. He is who he is. Let him do his thing. Brendan's his boy. Let him defend his boy. It's all good. What people saying here? Just tuned in. DK says, just tuned in. I had to at least chime in about the shootings over in the USA. A lot of it boils down to mental health. It's getting out of control. Yeah, truly, mental health might be a thing, or you guys just might like guns in it. I think the mental health thing is a little bit of a cop out people put. It's like when guys cheat and say, I've got sex addiction. Nah, you just wanted to fuck. You know what I mean? Let's relax there. Brian says, scary shit, not knowing if the drugs you get on the street may be laced with fent. They're putting in everything these days, even weed and fake prescription meds. Yeah, that's fucked up. Putting in coke is already crazy because a lot of people do coke. Putting in weed is absolutely crazy. And then prescription medication, like, come on, bruh. I'm trying to help myself here. But yeah, let's continue because this is all the madness, isn't it? Let's go on to the next thing I need to talk about here. Quickly. Oh, let's talk about this actually. Let's find out. So this is the bit where Malik snaps, isn't it? Let me see where the clip is. Where's Malik's slap? Where is it? I actually don't know where the section is. Where is it? What about the B guy ran over? Okay, cool. Let's see. Actually, let me pause the intros properly so when I clip this, I could send the clip properly. So this is a clip taken from The Black and the Bro, Part 3. What is that actually what the show's called? The Black and the Bro. God damn it, man. Anyway, whatever, right? This is a podcast where a former co-host of The Fighter and the Kid called Malik B, a guy that was unceremoniously fired from the show, even though Brendan tried to make it seem as if he just wanted to go his own way and pursue his own things. But essentially he was fired for standing up to Brendan, maybe not laughing at his jokes so often, poking fun at him, and generally just being a bit of a nuisance. And then Brendan had enough and thought, you know what, good douche, get the hell out of here, B, get the hell out of here, B. But then Malik went on to being a little bit of a R-word when it comes to online stuff. He ended up doing that weird thing where he said to people, if you want to find out the tea of what happened, you have to sub to my YouTube channel, get me up to 50,000 or something, then I'll tell you. That ended up failing. Then the guy he was doing the podcast with, who's also a friend of Brendan, who's also part of that redacted crew, he ended up falling out with Malik. The show they were doing together, they ended up not doing it anymore. That guy chose Brendan over Malik, which was super horrendous, super cringe, and really lame on his part. Malik ended up being on his own. People ended up attacking him, saying that he might be the issue, blah, 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 blah. But in the end, he never ended up spilling the beans or spilling the tea in terms of what actually happened behind the scenes and why Brendan ended up firing him. Now it feels like a lot of Bobby Lee drama going on. He's now got some backbone and got some courage, which I still think is lame because, like I said previously, it took 3 women coming out and saying something derogatory about those guys, for suddenly all the men in the comedy community to get a backbone and to get some sort of courage and come out and say something about Bryan Callen firing a kid, and just in general how they go on and how they act in the LA comedy scene. It took 3 women to come out and say something before they said something, because they didn't want to upset Daddy Rogan. Lame. But regardless, we are where we are at the moment. I guess it's a good thing that they came out and said something anyway, right? It's a good thing to say something. So I don't have the clip clipped up, but we're going to scan through the YouTube video and see where Malik speaks about it, because he was very animated and irate about the whole thing. If you want to check out the video yourself, you can. It's called The Black and the Bro Part 3, episode 82, Johnny Mitchell, Malik B, Sick Joke Podcast.
Yo, why you invite me, bro?
Because you're the #1 most requested guest, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why.
What up, gang? What's up, man?
Can we get a little brr. That's how I eat pussy. I get right next.
One thing, just to point out one thing. If there's one thing I hate that white people do when they're around black people, is #1, ask you about your hair. #2, when they try and make gunshot brat sounds. Am I Jamaican? Is my dad Beanie Man? Have you heard me talk about bashment music? Do you hear me play reggae music? Have you ever heard me make those brat sounds with my own mouth anyway? Why are you doing this? Why? So if you're a white person and you've got black friends, please do not ask them about their hair, and please do not make brat sounds. It's annoying. You might end up meeting a black person who doesn't even listen to flipping bashment, who likes classical music, who likes rock, who likes indie, who likes listening to jazz. Why are you doing brat sounds? No braps, please.
Next to my girl's vagina and go. The what?
The clip.
Come on, let's get to the point.
Go down on your chick, and she's giving you all these.
Where is it? Do you know the time type about this? I don't know.
Rude.
You tall and skinny.
But you have the same body type. This ain't been fucking relevant since Spice.
Come on, let's get to the point. Where are they talking about it? Where?
Yo, cause then they so shy. So then if you like put a pillow on your head, make sure you can't see, disappear, and then watch.
They put the pillow over their own head.
Hey, shut up.
Oh, bro. And then she's like, God, baby,
I'm
why
gonna
do
put
you
a pillow over your head if you guys don't get to the fucking point.
We're gonna let you go. We're gonna keep fucking.
You ever seen that movie Crash?
Oh my god, it's still going about this, okay?
Fuqua, he directed it, but no. What's the movie?
Come on.
Cops will facilitate. They call it gladiator fights, dude.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, it's still going.
I never really watched the Ozarks. I couldn't. I mean,
No, it wasn't a good show. Only do like black rooms, and they're like, I grew up in a trailer.
Oh, shut up, man. Jesus Christ, these guys
Right?
are talking out their ass.
bro, Malik B, bro. Malik B.
Hey,
bro.
go in, King.
He can never.
Go in, King.
You talking about like, yo, they can survive the hood, man? What the fuck?
Okay.
Where they
Let's. There we go. I think that's where it starts. Here, around here.
Big up.
Here's another thing, bro. Here's another thing.
Okay, let's go. There we go.
That
Now,
shit they were saying on the comments.
okay, here we go.
On
He's
their
getting
own,
animated.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like some of these hack white boys that only do like black rooms, and they're like, I grew up in a trailer park. That's like,
Call them out then. Who the fuck are you talking about?
Nah, they're nice guys.
Oh.
That's all they got. I don't want to do it. I've been calling enough people out this last couple of weeks,
Who
dude.
been calling out?
I don't know. A big stupid guy with a.
Oh, Brendan Schaub. I've been hearing about that Bobby Lee. Hey, I want to let y'all know, nigga. Hey,
yeah, you know Brendan Schaub.
Time out.
Weren't you on his podcast?
I was on his podcast. All that, listen, all that shit they were saying under the comments, like, oh, Malik B, you just come with drama and all that shit.
Wow.
Hey, Malik B, you need to get around some people because all you the problem.
Yeah.
If all your friends left you, you can't be in a problem. You sucked on the podcast. Think about this though. You haven't heard shit from my name. Everybody love me in these LA streets, but every time I look at our boy, he always into some shit.
Yep.
Like, come on, bro.
To be fair, I don't think it was a lot of people saying that, and if it was probably loads of Mark Harley, BGL's burner accounts that are saying he was a problem. Most people didn't. Most people knew that he was definitely a sacrificial lamb, and because him and Chappelle were basically mocking Brendan to his face and laughing too much, and Brendan's not a comedian in that way. He doesn't like when he doesn't like to be in the butt of the jokes. Even sometimes when Bryan Callen gets at him, he gets super defensive. He doesn't like it. It's not something that he comes natural to him because, he's a big strapping gentleman who's always relied on his physicality to basically navigate through life. He's never had to rely on jokes. So he's never grown up in an area like I did, in a community like I did, where, you just got ripped apart. It doesn't matter how big and strong you are. It doesn't matter how big and strong you were. You just got ripped to pieces with words. And you had to come back with words. If you tried to fight somebody, you automatically lost. Do you know what I mean? Even if you won the fight, no one cared. You lost, basically. So he never had that. So no one really saw Malik, I don't think, as a bad influence on the show or whatever it may be. I just think that was maybe some Brendan Schaub sycophants and whatever. But most people just thought it was lame the way he acted after the fact. The fact that he tried to string it along, use it as promo for his podcast, talk about the whole 50K thing. He went out real sad. That's his own thing. It's his own fault. As somebody mentioned in the comments, Malik fell on his own sword, basically. It wasn't nothing to do with the fans, I don't think so. It's mostly his own fear also that Brendan was going to somehow damage his career. Because supposedly, the other conversation was that I heard... So supposedly the other conversation I heard was that, I think on the Friday Kid subreddit, supposedly that he didn't sign an NDA or something. That's why he got kicked off the show. He wouldn't sign an NDA. And obviously he could have said what he wanted about Brendan, but he didn't, of fear of his career being affected, or maybe because he didn't want the drama. I don't know. But either way, it came across like he was scared. And now suddenly he's got all the courage in the world and he's talking about, come to the hood. So it's a bit lame, brother. It's a bit lame.
Like, now y'all looking stupid now. Then when all y'all DMing me talking about, like, oh, Malik, you vindicated because of Bobby Lee beef. I've been telling you about them bitches over there. They all weak motherfuckers.
But you can tell how much of a good guy Brendan is, that he elicits this level of anger in somebody. This isn't even his drama. And look how furious he is. He is absolutely shaking. He's really, really, really angry. That's how you can tell that Brendan's a good guy, innit? Like, because he makes people angry.
I stood up to him. I was like, bro, I turned down money to like stand and have my integrity. What kind of weak ass nigga do I look like, taking like just like bending on my knees and get fucked in the ass like some of them guys over there? And I can name them. I don't.
Chappelle Lacey, probably. Chappelle Lacey basically picking Brendan over him was brutal. But the one that was brutal the worst was definitely the other guy he did the podcast with. What was it called? Missing Weight, Touching Weight, whatever that was, something weight. They were doing a podcast together that was pretty decent. They had pretty good chemistry. They were being funny with each other. Being funny with each other. It was a pretty humorous show. And then, of course, I guess because of what happened at the fallout, he didn't want any passer, so he basically, decided to go with Brendan and, basically told Malik to kick rocks. But the Chappelle thing made sense. Chappelle was already on TFATK. He was getting started his career. He didn't want to, have it. Again, it wasn't his beef. Brendan had beef with Malik for whatever reason. Well, what did the beef with Malik start from what we saw on the outside as fans? Did it start as, what does it do with the conversation about Malik being decent at basketball? Was that the reason? I remember Brendan didn't believe that he played basketball at a certain college or something. Was it that to do with that? Maybe it was a basketball thing. Or maybe it was because was it Malik knew something about a Mayweather fight or Mayweather promotion fight or something. There was a big fight. And he knew who was fighting, and he corrected Brendan, and Brendan got offended or something. PBC boxing. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, something happened about boxing, and then from there it crumbled to pieces. It was fucking hilarious.
Give a fuck, and also, too, quite frankly, and make this I don't give a fuck, bro. What they gonna do to me? Weak ass niggas. And now here's another thing. Big up. Here's another thing.
I want that guy to get run over by a truck so bad. Stop doing that, man. Just because you like Kendrick Lamar and you flipping, like listen to the bashment music and your last girlfriend was mixed race, doesn't mean you do this stuff. Relax, bro. Relax. So annoying. There's nothing more annoying than this, honestly. Or like one of the white guys that comes up to you randomly in a bar and starts talking to you about Wu-Tang Clan. Or Jay Dilla or something. Like, leave me alone, bro. I'm trying to enjoy this drink and trying to bag this shorty over here. And you're over here kind of give me lectures about flipping Talib Kweli. Like, go away. God damn.
Here's another thing. Gossip. It was like, why don't you just come out and tell the truth? I'm like, that shit with Bobby Lee, I'll leak this whole motherfucking text thread.
Why didn't you leak it then, bro? Why didn't you leak it? All this talk, bruv. All these comedians are always tough on their own show, but when it came to being tough in front of them, didn't say a damn thing. They had to wait for Esther, Khalyla, and Annie to say something. Then suddenly they all start getting the confidence to make jokes and stuff. Get out of here. You're all weak. You're all weak. Brendan's got you all by the balls, mate. It's mad actually that Brendan and Bryan had that much pull and influence on the scene that people were scared to mention their names or to even mention they checked out the flipping Friday the Kid subreddit. Maybe of course it had to do more to do with Joe Rogan, but still, it must show the influence those guys must have on the scene on the ground level in everyday life that people are like, nah, I can't do it. Madness.
They ain't gonna do shit to me.
What's the truth? The truth is, Brendan Schaub fucked Bobby Lee. Brendan Schaub
that's none of my business.
Bobby Lee.
That's none of my business. I'm talking about all these people that's like DMing me. Like, nah, you wanted to DM. Why you just didn't leak it? Because gossip is only good for the moment. That's no longevity. Longevity,
no, I agree.
Creativity is longevity.
No one was asking you to gossip. This guy's being an absolute R-word. No one was asking you to gossip. You clearly got done dirty on the Fighting the Kid. I legitimately think him and Chappelle were actually some of the best co-hosts that Brendan had in that kind of period, right? Because the other guy, what was his name? The white dude. Brendan didn't let him fucking finish a sentence. Really nice guy he came across, but Brendan wouldn't let him finish the sentence. The other guy, Josh Wolf, as Brendan calls him, Josh Wolf actually, but Josh Wolf as Brendan calls him, they kind of ran out of steam because Josh is basically like a sensible adult kind of type guy, and Brendan tries to pretend like he's a teenager. Yeah, Josh has basically got an 18-year-old son and stuff, and you know, he treats comedy like a flipping job, and he loves the actual craft of it, and it's just a different way of looking at life. I felt like so I didn't really match. I thought Chappelle and flipping Malik were pretty decent as co-hosts. You know, they brought up some interesting topics. They had good banter. They didn't mind laughing at themselves. But what people wanted you to do was to speak about how dirty Brendan was, because at the time he was still under the guise that he was a good guy. He was still trying to paint this idea that he was a beast of a dad, beast of a good guy, when clearly he wasn't, because he beat you off the show because what? Because you corrected him on a flipping fight card. Because you dared to say you had a decent basketball career. Whatever the nonsense reason was, it wasn't enough to kick you off the show. Especially the way that he did it, right? Didn't even give you a send-off, just made it seem as if like you just left because you wanted to leave. Yeah, of course, duh. It says Will was the best. Of course, Will Sasso was the best co-host. You know what I mean, though. Will Sasso, like, that episode of Will Sasso and Chris D'Elia will go down in fucking podcast history. That's a Hall of Famer podcast. Will Sasso, Chris D'Elia, and Bryan Callen, Hall of Fame. And again, you know why it's so amazing? Because Bryan Callen doesn't even play that much of a starring role in it. He just sets them up. Bryan Callen's actually amazing when he's in a room with people who are funnier than him, because he actually doesn't mind playing second fiddle and just setting them up with bits. Do you know what I mean? Throwing out premises, asking, you know, open-ended question, and kind of just playing the, kind of playing second fiddle to everybody in the room. He does it better than anybody. Whereas Brendan gets he feels awkward. He's like, yeah, man, that's really funny. You know what I mean? He comes in with something redacted. Instead of just taking time, sitting back and letting the talent breathe, letting them express themselves, and then maybe chiming in with a few bits here and there. That's what Bryan did really well in that show. But anyway, let's continue. But yeah, that's what I said. Malik should just come out and just said, hey, what he did was some fuck shit. I did nothing wrong to the guy. I was just trying to help. Blah, 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 blah. But he was too scared. Just be honest and say at the time you were worried about your career. It's fine. But don't now try and turn up like bad boy thing, because you weren't on a bad boy vibe at that time. Even though, most likely, even though Malik, you know, is, I don't know, 100 pounds lighter than flipping Brendan, you could probably give him a good scene to. I've seen Malik's boxing. He's pretty good at boxing. So I reckon he could probably give Brendan a hard time. Unless, you know, Brendan decides to give him a double leg and it'll be over.
I knew they was weirdos when they said.
Well, their career is dying, though.
Hold on, let me just get off. And another thing is, this is how I knew shit was corny. Because they was like, yo, they had a dude named Michael Turner, and they said white Mike would be the white boy that's in the hood. No, the fuck he won't, nigga. I'm just L.A. You take him to the hood, we'll probably...
What's he talking about, man? Who's Michael Turner? What's the hood? Who's the hood and who's Michael Turner? Can someone explain this to me? Who is Michael Turner? Bro, why do you pronounce the word so wrong? Man say the name Maya as Mayor. Bruh, leave me alone, man. Let me pronounce the words how I want to pronounce them. English is my third language. I just learned it yesterday, man. Don't you know? I just learned this shit yesterday. Allow me. I don't know who this guy is and who Eric something is, but anyway, let's continue.
Boy...
What would we do to him?
Bro,
Not me. I like Mike.
Hey,
but
bro.
Mike's a buddy.
Who's Mike Turner? Who's
All
that?
them niggas is weak, bro.
What we do? Run train?
Bro, Malik B, bro. Malik B.
Hey,
bro.
go in, King.
He can never.
Go in, King.
He talking about like, yo, they can survive the hood, man. What the fuck? I'll bring them where they at. I'm good everywhere I go. That's why I film street. I know a thing about LA streets.
What's he talking about, bro? This is what he always does. What's he talking about? What does this have to do with Brendan Schaub and Bobby Lee? LA streets, Compton, Piru, Crip, On Blood. What is this? Who cares? Talk about the people. God almighty.
LA streets is when you talk and you run your mouth and you gossip like they do, right? You get done up or you get beat the shit out of. But they're not in that lifestyle. So this is comedy. That's why I was like, okay, this is not for me. I wasn't raised like that. I was like, man, I don't fit in. That's cool. I don't fit in with that shit. So I'm not about to say and speak on business, but this is just for these motherfuckers.
So you said you could leak it. Now you're saying you don't want to leak it because you don't speak on business. Make your mind up, brother. Make your mind up.
Who keep DMing me and talking about like, oh, Mark Harley, Malik felt entitled. Who the fuck are you speaking on another man's business? Y'all some bitches, bro.
Tell him.
Yeah.
BGL got dunked on. But to be fair to BGL, again, like I said, BGL, as lame and as much of a loser and as much as a redacted as he is Brendan's boy. So in the same token that people go after him, if he's got someone in his corner who's willing to flipping, suck on his schlong and do his bidding for him online, fair play. It's a bit annoying, it's a bit cringe, but fair play.
Yeah, don't see us out here in these LA streets. Don't come to La Cienega and Sunset. Meet me in the Pink Dot.
My brothers will slap the shit out of me.
I hate that guy. I hate the white guy is fucking annoying. I hate him so much. Is this what LA does to you? Is this what LA does to you? Like, you're always kind of performing. Like, you don't need to perform. Let your friend just say what he wants to say. Maybe make a little joke to cut the tension at the end, but just let him say it because he's clearly a little bit wound up about this thing because of whatever DMs he's been getting. Let him breathe a bit and then maybe make a joke at the end. Why are you performing? Like, no one's going to cast you in a movie role because of what you said in the podcast. Like, just simmer down, my friend. Simmer down.
We not saying nothing on wax though. I'm just saying.
No, we're acting quite literally on wax. This is going to be broadcast.
I'm not saying. I'm not trying to
What,
promote
you think
violence.
This is a private conversation.
I'm not trying to promote violence.
He's armed. He has a gun on him right now.
I'm not trying to do none of that shit.
He's going to go wave it around recklessly to get back to make up for that Buffalo shooting. He's going to go kill some white people.
Hey, RIP to all them people, man. Damn. Now we had a.
Yeah, that white guy is lame. Anyway, the whole thing is lame. They didn't say nothing, nothing really insightful. If anything, for anyone that was doubting whether there was bad blood between Brendan and Malik, now we know there's definitely bad blood. He definitely hates the guy. He doesn't leave a good impression on people. He also hates everyone associated with the show. He hates BGL, evident. BGL probably doesn't like him, evident. It is what it is. And the white guy on the show that's hosting it is an absolute R word. Lame hell. The brap sounds he was making, the jokes he was making, just lame as hell. Imagine watching a show with him doing stand-up. Just imagine what that must be like. God almighty. I was fucking this girl and she was like, ah! When you're with your black friends, they're like, ah! Shut up, man. Get off the fucking stage with your shit. Anyway, let's continue. What are you guys saying in the chat? Brendan Shaw's response to Malik. I don't have a problem with Malik. I love that guy. He's one of my best friends ever. Yeah. Yes, Ryu, Ken. You know that straight away. Definitely he's going to say, I have no problems with the guy. He's my B. I love him. I don't know what he's talking about. He's got my number, B. He can text me. Shut up. But yeah, anyway, yeah. Brian said LX toxic for sure. Today, 50 Cent was shot 9 times. Hi, beginning of they were talking about Gary Owen. Yeah, of course they're talking about Gary Owen. Imagine being pussy enough not to say Gary Owen's name. Imagine how pussy you have to be to not say Gary Owen's name. Imagine. He's a nice guy. That's all he's got. At least Gary Owen is funnier than you. Look, Gary Owen isn't even my type of comedy. But I can confidently say I would laugh way more watching Gary Owen do stand-up comedy than this absolute bean. This guy here, this bean. I would have way more time having way more fun watching Gary Owen than this absolute bean. This weapon. This wallad. Look at him. God almighty, man. Brap, brap, brap. Like, shut up, man. What next? How do you make your hair like that? Wow, black people are really good at dancing, innit? Like, shut up, you idiot. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue. Next on the list. What's I got to talk about here? Come on, get through the topics quickly. Oh, have you guys seen this? This is courtesy of the Fire Kid Subreddit. This is pretty funny. Some guy ended up doing this whole thing on a green screen taking Mickey out of Brendan Schaub's special, which is happening and hilarious. And from what I understand, he's going to record a full half an hour like this, an alternative one. The fans of the Subreddit are the best, I swear to God. Look at this shit.
Yo, Dallas! What's up, Dallas? What's up? You guys ever heard of fajitas? Oh, this guy knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, fajitas are popping. The thing about a fajita is they come out and they're all like, and people are like, what? And I'm like, right here. Oh, I went there. Yeah, you know I make it rain tortillas too. Oh, shit. It's funny with the knee slap, right? Right? Good night, everybody.
He's got the Kim Jong-un face mug as well, man. Honestly, hilarious. Supposedly this guy's gonna record a full hour or something. Oh, support him when he does, man. Support him when he does. Check it out on the Fire and the Kid subreddit. His username is as follows on the top there. Levon TR. Check him out, honestly. Oh, that made my eyes bleed. That was flipping good. That was good. Big up that individual. It's funny with the knee slaps, right? Right? Oh, absolute legend. Let's continue here. Oh, this is a pretty decent one. This is a clip taken from David So's podcast. And David So's an interesting character, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, he was somebody who I thought I remember seeing quite early on the podcasting scene, but I never really listened to their comedy too tough because it was mostly, again, this is going to be mad to sound this, but it kind of come across like dorky comedy. Like they were like the dorky crew kids and I didn't really vibe with it. And also they reminded me too much of like Asian kids I went to sixth form with, especially Filipino guys who were always dancing. You know what I mean? Like they just got on my nerves. They would always be like pop locking in the flipping in the corridors and shit. And just annoying. Do you know what I mean? I always had problems with them. I always used to fight them when we played football and basketball and stuff. I just had a real issue. Don't get me wrong. I don't not like Filipino people. Don't get me wrong. But it's just the certain type of Filipino people that are really into sneakers and like to dance too much. Just gets on my nerves. I just hate all that shit. I hate people that show too much joy. Simmer down. Relax your joy. Don't be so happy around me, especially. So that's why I didn't vibe by the show. But he's also really funny. And he's really good at podcasting. And I remember when he went on the Fire and the Kid once, when they were going through what they were going through with Bryan Callen was off and obviously Malik was on there, he, for whatever reason, had an idea who Brendan was and was going hard at him in terms of asking him questions about the Fire and the Kid subreddit, the trolls, how his comedy special on Showtime was received. And I was like, whoa, guy, like, it came out of nowhere. Like, just, he was going at him. It was probably one of the better episodes because even though I thought Brendan came across pretty badly, I still think he dealt with the questions pretty well without being given notice. Like, it was obviously something that happened out of the blue and he kind of got, I wouldn't say ambushed, but like, he wasn't given a warning that he was going to ask these questions. I don't think he was anyway. And I think he dealt with them pretty well, especially considering how thin-skinned Brendan is. I thought he dealt with the questions okay. But since the Bobby Lee dramas happened, David clearly has changed his tone on Brendan and what's been going on because he went in on him on his podcast. There's a couple of clips here from the Bryan Kid subreddit I'm going to play through. It's giving an idea on what he thinks of the whole situation. So this is David So talking with some of his podcasting co-hosts about the whole thing. Excuse me, I don't know what the guys' names are. I didn't research it too much. I apologize, but let's play the clip anyway.
Time that he was with his other lady.
Sure.
Which already is fucking foul as shit.
That honestly, that's the first and last strike for me, bro.
Yeah.
It's like he always
first strike was his first stand-up special.
Nah, bro.
Oh.
I'm not kidding, Brendan. Don't fight me. Nah, bro, but it's like, you know, if that's your homie's girl and you slide in her DMs, like,
what are you doing?
We got beef.
Yeah.
What are you doing, dude?
That's forever beef.
That's the one thing that I don't get. Again, sorry, stop it again. That's the one thing that I don't get. That's the one thing I don't understand how for whatever reason. But again, let's give credit to Brendan and Bryan. That is master levels of manipulation and distraction tactics to get everyone to start talking about something that has nothing to do with what's at the heart of the issue. The heart of the issue is that you allegedly tried to offer Annie a drug walk. That you, according to Khalyla, sit in her DMs on some let's hook up and chill thing. When you were with your lady and when she was clearly in a very public relationship with Bobby Lee. That's the main issue. Whether they said it laughingly, gigglingly, whatever it meant, that's the issue. And if it was any other guy, if it wasn't Bobby Lee, who was not so passive and clearly somebody that doesn't like confrontation, this is beef forever, as that guy mentioned. Every time I see you, it's on site. Every time your name comes up, I am dragging you through the mud. This isn't something that you just, oh yeah, my bad, I text you, I called you. No, there's no calling. You don't call my girl, you don't call me. It's on site all the time. Anyone that's connected to you, I rip them into pieces too. Every chance I get to disparage your name and to put your name through the mud, to discredit you, to highlight your flipping wrongdoings, to make it known that you're a scumbag, I will do it. But somehow, Brendan and Bryan managed to swerm their way out of it with the Reddit thing. Master level manipulators and gaslighters. Master level.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know. That's just me, but I don't
So
know.
he was just hitting her up out of nowhere and was like, yo, let's like kind of fuck type shit?
Don't know the specifics, but essentially that's
what it was.
is.
Oh, okay.
So, and this is somebody that he says, here's the thing that I really, really dislike probably about Brendan, not from a personal experience, but what this kind of shows about his character as a human being is that I dislike people who say the word, that's my brother, that's my friend, and they're not. Stop saying that shit. Stop saying to people. He says it consistently because I watched The Fighter and the Kid. That's my brother, man. He's like a brother to me. Brendan, shut the fuck up.
No, but to be fair to him, though, it's an LA thing. And I hate it, too. The same way that I hate when people say, yeah, that's my bro, that's my guy, my broski, my brother from day dot, brother from another mother. What's something that I hate people say? Oh, well, you know, I think I hate people say. When you hear people say, oh, I'm so proud, I'm so proud, I'm so proud. Especially within my little subculture or within my little social circle, my niche, my scene of people who are maybe within the creative class and hipsters, whatever they may be. I have a lot of people that say that. And it irks me because it always happens to be they're proud of somebody who has got a really cool job on paper. They work for Adidas, they work for Nike, they work for Apple, they work for some big trendy magazine. They're at some creative agency that everyone loves and wants to work at. It's never somebody just working a normal job who got promoted to be the manager of a Tesco's. Oh, I'm proud of my friend for going from working as a weekend sales assistant to now he's the area manager of Tesco's. Or now maybe he's a shift leader of this store. No, it's always cool jobs I'm proud of. It's never just normal things. Oh, I'm so proud. My friend got featured on this Academy Award-winning show. My friend got an award for styling this thing. Of course you're proud because it's something that you can show off that makes you look good too by proxy. Because if you show a picture of your friend styling Skepta, it makes you look better, doesn't it? Because obviously, people then start to put the two and two together and start thinking, oh, you must be friends with them too. No, that's not true. No. God damn it, man. Be proud of all your friends. Be proud of your family. Be proud of your colleagues for graduating school and all that sort of stuff. Be proud of them too. Not just your cool friends. But again, it's the whole thing about friends. They also talk about friends the same way. That's my friend. That's my brother. Bro, do you treat your brothers and friends like that? Do you slide in your friends' DMs and try to hook up with their wives? Do ya? If you do, chuck yourself off a bridge.
He is not your friend. He is a work acquaintance that you guys have good jokes with. They say good things about you. That doesn't mean that in your fucking circle. What are you, fucking 13 years old? Are you fucking dumb? You don't know what friends are yet? You
exactly.
have no fucking real friends. And if that's the case, that's your bad.
Another thing people have pointed out again in the subreddit, which I don't think is fair, but something I want to highlight. I do remember ages ago someone saying one of the other things that might be a bit of a red flag for Brendan as a person is the fact that he doesn't seem to have any friends around him from where's he from? Aurora, Colorado, right? Or wherever he's from, right? You don't really see many of those friends around him now that he's in LA. Even coming on the show, him talking about stories about them in the past. It's always just LA, to the point that he's got tattoos on his body with LA. It's a bit weird, but it's all just LA stuff. It's all just new friends. You don't get any semblance of like who he was prior to stand up. You get obviously a semblance to him in MMA and UFC circles, but no real connection to like his college years and all that sort of stuff or working in that area. It's all just new friends. And people would say, and I know it's a thing with women, women always say that if you meet a guy who doesn't have any friends, like old school friends, it's usually a red flag. And it might be a red flag with him. A little bit. But the only reason why I say it may not be a red flag is I think he's not alone in this. I think this is a standard thing in LA. I think when people go to LA, similar to when you move to any other new place as an adult, you basically go there to try and reinvent yourself. And especially in the entertainment industry, the heart of the entertainment industry, which is Hollywood and LA, you would obviously try and go there with the ability, with the idea that you're going to try and find your new tribe. You're going to try and engross yourself in this new community and find new people that maybe match your career hopes and dreams and whatever it may be. So the whole friend thing is a weird thing. But I still think it's something to note in your head. Like you don't ever hear Brendan talk about his old friends. You don't hear his old friends be around him. It's always these new people out of nowhere, these comedy people who again aren't really his friends either because they're only using him because he's famous and he's got a popular podcast and he's friends with Joe Rogan. So it's a bit weird.
Yeah. You surrounded yourself around people who like to throw these words out. That's my brother. That's my friend. That's my boy. So many people in this fucking city say that shit so often. It's just glued to their fucking lying lips. Brendan, Bobby Lee is not your friend. He was never your friend. You guys were cool with each other. Those are two fucking big differences. Yeah. And those guys say those words so often. And so, and the idea behind that, the reason why that kind of annoys me is that for you to go on the podcast, right, which is cool, that's fine. You're trying to bury the hatchet or you're trying to, save skin right now because he's honestly on the back foot, like Khalyla was saying, is that you're saying that this is my brother. This is how you treat your family?
That's the crazy part.
Right? What is this definition of friendship and brotherhood that you keep fucking saying? Stop saying that.
Yeah, but it's LA again. You need to relax. It's LA thing, understand it. Anyway, move along. Another clip here. Brendan's nightmare. People checking the comments on his special live on air. Thankfully, his team deleted all the negative ones. Oh yeah, true. That's another really weird faux pas. Why would you delete the comments on the podcast that's on a special that's clearly generating some level of flipping? I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, let's play the thing.
Part about his special was the comment section. Hilarious, dude.
People were roasting him?
People were roasting, and I understand why he doesn't read comments, because I would kill myself.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. What were they saying? Bro, people are like crazy.
They are ruthless. Open up your phone and just go to the comment section.
Look, even if you do something perfect, say you made something perfect, the
People
internet
are still gonna shit on it.
still gonna shit on it. So I was on YouTube, because I was looking for this whole debacle shit. I typed in Brendan Schaub, and it was like terrible comedy, not funny. Like, those are all,
bro,
like,
people have people dedicate YouTube channels of just like doing hit jobs.
Yeah, that's so unnecessary. Like
that is unnecessary.
Or are you trying to attack him for being a bad comic?
Like take it easy.
The
man.
first comment,
You don't gotta do all that.
is says this is brutal from Sad Frog.
What
Yeah, some people are saying,
they
all jokes aside, huge improvement from his previous special. Good
That's
job.
positive. I like that positivity on the
No.
internet.
Hold on a second.
I like that
Literally 3 days
positivity.
ago, these comments were not this.
Yeah.
So they deleted a lot of comments.
Maybe they might have. YouTube might have gone through there and like a bot or something.
They deleted every bad comment. There's no bad comment on here. Wow. There's not a single bad comment on it. They deleted all the bad comments.
Some said this isn't that bad.
Write a comment saying we're filming a podcast right now.
Oh, I should have. I literally was cackling my ass off laughing at some of these comments.
Oh, so some of them got deleted, huh?
Damn, bro.
Some of them, all of them got deleted. All the negative comments got deleted.
It doesn't make sense, innit? Why would you do that, really? Why would you do that? Because the engagement is the engagement. Whether they're saying bad things or good things about you, upvotes or downvotes, they're still checking you out. Especially if you own the content too, you can copyright strike anything that people try and re-upload in terms of the full episode. You still got your rights to, like, why would you delete the comments? Just leave let them run. Because I always thought, my understanding behind it, again, maybe I'm redacted. I was under the impression the reason why he went to do it on YouTube was the first place was so he had metrics and he had numbers that he could use to then give himself a better bargaining chip if he wanted to go get more ads, or he wanted to book bigger shows, or he wanted to get bigger sponsors. Like, I always thought it was like a money business type thing. Like, let's put this on YouTube. Let's show people like what I can actually do in numbers. Because I'm sure he knew the reaction to it would be like 50-50. Some would like it, some would hate it. But the fact that it would have numbers anyway would be good, because now it's at like 1 million views. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not. People, brands and marketing teams and stuff, they just see 1 million views and they see 1 million possible customers who can buy their product or service. So it's a good thing regardless. So then why bury the views? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Oh, sorry, 7 a.m. in Winnipeg. 7 a.m. in Winnipeg sounds like a really bad Jack Harlow song, isn't it? A bad imitation of a Drake song. 7 a.m. in Winnipeg. I'm just out here trying to get pegged. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? That sounds like a really bad one.
Wow. Some of them were pretty
There's
fucking
5,000 comments on there. Too.
It's all like David's got emails. It's like all your fucking comments have been deleted and removed.
He's like, God damn it.
God damn it, dude. 1,000 notifications.
Damn, they deleted. But what that
All your
kind of
comments,
sucks,
man.
because the comments were hilarious. I'm so sad.
Yeah,
they
no,
were. It's not that, like I said, I'm not reveling in the fact that he's getting roasted. I'm saying that some of these comments were
funny.
Genius.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's what
some
I'm
of these
saying.
people
Like,
that write jokes
like,
in there.
look, if I get it, it's mean, but like, if it's funny, it has value. So let it live, baby.
All comments should be let live. I'm not a believer in deleting any comments. I think deleting any comments is some loser, sucker ass, sensitive, dumb stuff. Like, you're on the internet. You're going to get bad. You're going to get good comments. Let them rock. It is what it is. But maybe because I've been on the internet for the majority of my life, right? I've been on forums. I've been on chat rooms. I've been on chat clients. I've done the entire thing. So I'm used to how vicious people can be on the internet. It just is what it is. If you ever see them in real life and you're on that time and you want to throw their hands. But for the most part, who cares? It doesn't really matter for the most part. It really, really doesn't matter. But for some people, they really get annoyed by it and it really kind of tickles them and it kind of makes them really upset and stuff. But anyway, we continue with the David So clips. One more.
He was talking about, for Brendan, he goes, I'm okay. You know, I'm a comic. I'm an entertainer. You could make fun of me, talk about me being a bad stand-up, whatever, right? But when you go, after me personally and my family and this stuff is toxic, how funny. You did the same thing to Ariel Helwani.
Exactly.
How funny, Brendan, that you literally said on your podcast, I heard through hearsay, which apparently you're really good at just regurgitating stuff through hearsay, that Ariel Helwani is a bad fucking co-host and a terrible person to work with and networks hate. And you're going after his fucking money and now his family. You did the same thing. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What is this nonsense? He was talking about.
Because it's a double standard. Welcome to LA, home of the double standard. No, it's double standards, of course, isn't it? Double standards. It's like him saying, that's not nice. That's not nice. Is that nice? Is that nice? To Khalyla and stuff. It's like, is that nice? Is it nice what you done? Perpetuating this lie that we're the masterminds behind a flipping TFATK subreddit. Calling all your friends and telling them all bad stuff about me. Telling BGL to threaten me that you're going to expose me for hooking up with other dudes and stuff. Like, is that fun? Come on. Is that nice? Yo, big up the super chat. Big up Rick Rock. Morning for all the cats in the chat. Big up the homeless cat community. I don't know what the sign is for us. If it's meow, I don't want to do the meow thing because that's gonna be, especially with Asians on the screen. I don't want to get cancelled. So I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, you know what I mean. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up the homeless cat community. Let's rock. Let's do this thing. But yeah, the double standards is what it is. Again, like I said previously, the fact that Brendan and Bryan were able to change the narrative on this entire debacle and make it out to be Bobby Lee's behind the flipping Find the Kid subreddit is genius. Genius level of distraction. Genius level of what's that thing called? What's that thing called when you distract people? I don't know what thing called. You know what I mean. Let's continue. I can't bother to find words to say stuff. Who cares about words? Who cares about words? And if you don't know the difference between this and this appearance from, David So talking to Brendan on his show, vis-a-vis him talking about him on his own show. Look at this.
It just comes to the territory. And I tell these guys all the time, dude, social media is not real, man. It's not the real world. People have polarizing comments on there and they're trying to get attention, so they're posting the most wild shit. I see any of those people in the street, oh, let me get a picture, man.
Is that notion right, that social media isn't real? I don't believe so. I think it is real, but you just don't have to subscribe to it, as Brendan would say. It is still real though, it's still valid. People, what they say on social media is actually valid, is actually real, and to some extent does represent some people's feelings on what you do. But overall, I think most people, with maybe the The only exception I can think of, is probably someone like a Dark Side Phil. I can't think of any other content creator in the world who has more haters than fans. You always have more fans, but human nature is always going to make you pay more attention to the negative than the positive. It just is what it is. You're going to be more intrigued to find out why someone doesn't like you as opposed to finding out why they do like you. But the only person who I can think of is legitimately has more haters who dislike him and want him to, stop making content and can't wait to the time where he gets deleted from YouTube and stuff, is maybe a, what's his face? A Dark Side Phil. Everyone else has more fans. Even Brendan Schaub, he has more fans than he has haters. 100%. So him saying it's not real isn't true because it is real. It's just that you don't need to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm basically trying to say. But in his head, to make himself feel well and to not make himself cry and stuff, you have to make up this whole thing about, they're not real. It's like they are real, just don't pay attention to them. It's not that big of a deal. You're still getting booked. You're still, living a good life. It is what it is.
Man, let me do
100%.
this. Yes.
Yeah.
Thick boy merch. Oh, it sucks. Yeah, I sell out every time, and you have it on.
Went from finding the stand up. I mean, I don't even know how that happens. Like, how do you go from like going into a
because of
cage?
podcasts.
Oh,
But I've always wanted to do stand up, and my way into it was me
Lies.
and Bryan Callen and then doing comedy podcasts. So me and Bryan would do live firing the kids, but it wasn't a live podcast. Sucked, dude. Brian's doing it now, but whatever.
Is there a lot of pressure? I mean, even for all you guys, like for example, because you've been put on by Joe Rogan and a lot of these great comics, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, like I know of your work, I know what you do, I know what people say.
Yeah.
So is there a lot of pressure for you to do better than what people expect out of you? Because a lot of people feel that you've been kind of put on a platform because a lot of people have pushed you up there to be at a certain place. Because I feel like that's a lot of pressure, right?
I don't feel the pressure. I feel like so Rogan,
D'Elia, Brian, Theo, Joey, Santino, Bobby Lee. You can go through the entire
Cummings, the entire list of these monster comics. They're not going to co-sign if I wasn't funny.
That's demonstrably not true. Demonstrably not true. But hey.
I'm not going to sell every show on the road multiple times in multiple cities year after year if I wasn't funny.
Yeah.
So
Demonstrably not true. The whole thing of selling out and your friends putting you on doesn't make sense because for the most part, from what I've seen within the LA comedy scene, or within comedy in general, especially when it comes to the States, if you're a podcaster, most likely you have your own audience that you play to. Or that you do your show to, right? You got your fans, right? They love you. And when you go to perform, you usually play to that audience. It's not like you go and do a random show at the Comedy Store, you drop in at the Laugh Factory and stuff. You don't usually do that. You usually go and put on your own shows and go perform for your fans. So if you sell out shows performing to your own fans, it's not really like selling out to regular people because they're all people that know you from the podcast. Oh, we like this girl from the podcast. We want to see them live, and you go see them live. That's not really a good barometer to say that you are good at stand-up or that solidifies you as... all it does basically is let people know that you have people that watch you once and maybe want to watch you again. But then if you dig into it a little bit, it's then just your own fans. It's not really like regular people who are like just stumbling across you on YouTube and thinking, oh, I want to see this guy perform somewhere. Or they see you on the lineup and think, oh, I want to see this guy perform. It's not really that. It's just your fans who are like, listen to TFATK, listen to the end, figure out you're doing a show, buy a ticket on your website and then do that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
So again, that online chatter is not real, dude. It's not real.
It's about what happens on the stage in the crowd.
Again, ticket sales, podcast views, bank account, that's all real.
I love how he never mentions about being funny too. That's another thing that's always intrigued me about this guy. But it's also good because I think for the most part, most of us judge him too harshly. He's not a stand-up comedian. He's just a podcaster that does stand-up. But he's not a stand-up comedian. And I think he's created his own little niche, which other people are also kind of going behind and doing the same thing as well. I forgot who I'm thinking. I think it's Cody Cohen, the other guy. They're similar, even though they do stand up and comedy. But people know them most often in their YouTube videos, and they then do shows for their fans doing similar type of comedy that they do on their podcasts. So it's not the same thing as like a stand-up would do. I don't know if they go and do open mics. I don't really know too much about them in terms of that side of things, but that's what he's created for himself. So, but I always find it funny that you very rarely hear Brendan talk about bits he's working on, premises, or what he found funny, you know what I mean? Or comedy specials that he watched and was obsessed with, and he had like a bit of a deep dive on and went down a rabbit hole with. Like, it's just always just like booking shows, merch, money, booking shows, merch, money. It's like, okay, we get it.
I can see that in black and white. I don't care about anything else. I feel no pressure. No pressure.
You have a very strong mentality.
Why do you not feel that way with
But
yourself?
you would have to. What else am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What else would you do?
That's true.
What am I gonna listen to them?
Yeah.
If they knew what they were doing, they would do it.
100%.
That's a terrible criticism to put on somebody. Just because someone's not doing stand up, they can't criticize your stand up. It's like, all right.
But whatever. Oh, his special sucks. Let me see your special.
Bam.
Oh, you don't have one? No, man. All right, you're out. If you have a special, I'll listen to you. If you're a legit comic, comic like I am, if you sell more tickets than me, I'll listen to you.
See how he started that? He started with, if you're stand up, I listen to you. But then he has all these other criteria. You have to be richer than him. You have to be more in shape than him. You have to drive better cars. You have to tour more, sell more tickets, fuck more chicks, do more drug walks. Come on, bro. Give us a break.
How did you feel about the critique about your special then? Like, from
don't see it.
Damn, man, you got the blinders on, son. Man,
I don't see it.
You coming with the questions today? He's saying that.
No, I love it because But as far as
I love it. Yeah.
As far as special, so it depends. Like probably too early to do it. Probably too, only 2 years in stand up doing a special is crazy.
Because for me too, right? Because I became a fan.
Probably it was the worst decision ever in the history of entertainment. Don't get me wrong. In the long term, it probably was good for him because that deal was what basically got him the Showtime deal to do what is it called? Below the Belt. And that led to other opportunities. And I'm sure that check from Showtime paid for a lot of stuff, right? That paid for a lot of stuff in the TFATK universe. I'm sure it did. Salaries, equipment, studios. It went a long way, that check. So that check, and the fact that check is gone now, you've seen a clear dip in the production quality of the Thick Boy stuff. From the thumbnails to the artwork to the production of the show, the audio, the visuals, it's all gone completely downhill since he started doing the thing on his own. That makes complete sense. But if you actually want to be a stand-up comedian, there is no way you accept to do a stand-up comedy special, especially an hour, on Showtime, under the big lights, on that massive stage, 2 years in. You can't do that. It's not gonna, especially if you want to create like a body of work. That's what I describe it as. I'd think stand-up would be like similar to you being an artist and making albums. You don't want to put out your first album too early, because it would be terrible and then it won't really blend with what you got with your entire body of work. But you also don't want to wait too long because you want the album to tell a story. Like, I started from this point and I'm here and I went to there until I got here. And there's natural progression that you can see, your influences, where you were in your life, how you went about doing things, all this sort of things kind of get displayed in the album and the comedy special. But doing it 2 years in is insane. Especially if you think about the 2 years in that he did it. It wasn't 2 years of going to open mics. This was 2 years of him performing in front of TFATK audiences. No wonder he wasn't funny. And again, you're already at a disadvantage starting comedy at mid-30s. That's already really difficult, I would imagine. Especially if you're somebody that's like naturally funny. It's hard to then start something like that straight away in your mid-30s. It can be done, but it's difficult. Then you only do it in front of your own fans. And then you do a comedy special after 2 years for everyone to see. Come on, bro. And look what it's done for him. It's obviously done well, monetarily and career-wise, but in terms of reputation, in terms of how he's regarded around his peers, the damage for that is like irreversible, basically, isn't it? Like, especially since Gringo Papi's come out, it's gotten worse and worse for him, really. It's not got any better.
I was watching you on the podcast scene, right?
Sure.
And so when I saw you do the special, I also felt it was a little too early for you.
Yeah.
You know, so when
here's my question for you, and the haters to say this: what would you do if
I wouldn't do it?
Name a show.
I wouldn't do it.
Special.
That's the thing, because he can't get it through his head that some people aren't money motivated. I get the money was good, but they were already making good money on the Fire and the Kid. Don't get me wrong; it wasn't Showtime money, but they were still making money on Fire and the Kid from talking about their dicks and nonsense on the internet. It's a pretty good life. You're still selling out shows. People still like you to a certain extent. It wasn't as hated as he was now. Why do that to yourself? Why? Take the time to marinate and build. And again, the other thing also, think about it, the other caveat to put on this, it's now been revealed after the fact. I think Bryan revealed it. All his friends told him not to do it. The only one that didn't tell him to do it was the only person who didn't tell him not to do it was Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan explained on his podcast in a kind of joking way, the only reason why he didn't tell him to do it was because he felt already bad that he told him to stop to stop doing fucking UFC in that whole you'd be surprised conversation. So he didn't want to, he felt extra bad now being the person to tell him you shouldn't do it after 2 years. So he kind of let him do it. Do you know what I mean? And hope for the best. Whereas Bryan Callen actually did say, hey, it's not a good idea. And you know what Brendan's reply was? Or we know what Brendan thought when Bryan Callen said that to him? He thought Bryan Callen was hating because he was now becoming more successful. That he had kind of overtook Bryan because he was selling more tickets and stuff. So do you know what I mean? Like, that's the delusion that this guy has. So he's trying to rewrite the narrative like, oh, it was a no-brainer. I was doing this for my family. The money was too good. No. You did it because you actually thought that you were funny enough to have a special after 2 years. You thought you were going to break the mold. You were going to be the trailblazer. Or trailblazer, whatever it may be. God damn it, I can't talk, man.
Half an hour. What would you do? You gonna not do it? What are you gonna do?
And I'm a pussy, so no. Yeah, you don't know me like that, motherfucker.
You don't know me like that.
Big pussy, bro.
and then that special parlayed into every other thing I do with Showtime, which I have a multi-year deal with. And then
okay.
And then
All right.
So the haters.
So it didn't hurt you. So it's like
Chappelle, shut up, man! You flipping black golden retriever. It didn't hurt you, did it? Honestly, I love the guy, but Chappelle? Honestly, no. To be fair, let me retract that a bit. Chappelle outside of this show is actually lovely. You see him on other podcasts getting interviewed. You see him even on his show, which even though it's boring, he still comes across like a nice guy. But for whatever reason, when he was on this show, he was like, Googie Gaga, looking at flipping Brendan. My lips are so dry. Looking at Brendan like that, like, I don't, get some backbone, bro.
Well, real quick, right now. Put that dick on this table real quick, right now.
So, but then also after that, like now, I have offers from any big company, to shoot another special.
That's awesome.
So,
That's true.
what do you want me to do?
This is
true. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know what we do.
Damn.
Yeah.
You're a wise sage.
You're redacted, whatever. But fair enough. So David So still kept the same energy, to be fair, in some respect, because he was one of the only guests that I've heard really grill Brendan in this regard. And to be fair to Brendan, he still answered the questions to his best ability. I just think he was wrong in certain places. My own opinion with it, personally. But hey, what can you do? What can you do? Move on. Oh, God, almighty, my throat. Oh, here's another update. Courtesy of the Frantic subreddit again. Brendan's now on his Philly thing. It looks like with the merch, with the clothing and the jersey stuff. I think I've asked this before on this podcast beforehand on this show. For all of my American listeners and watchers out there, is this normal to be a guy that's into sports and following the various major sports you have out there, baseball, basketball, American football, and to support so many different teams within all those different sports? Is that normal? I would assume if you're into sports, you might have a East Coast team, a West Coast team. You might have a team that you support in basketball that's different to the one in football, different to the one in baseball. But do you support all different ones and wear all their merch? Is that like a thing? Like unironically? It is so bizarre. He seems to have every single piece of merch from literally every franchise. Even what's that American football team that's really terrible? Miami Dolphins. He even has Dolphin stuff. Like everything. He seems to have everything. It's fucking crazy, bro. And the funny thing also about it is that he's not even like super into sports. Again, from what I can see, he doesn't have that much knowledge on basketball. His football knowledge is pretty decent because he used to play it. Baseball is so-so. It's not even like he's a Barstool sports guy where like you can tell he legitimately spends every waking moment of his life just watching ESPN. It's not even like that. Like I don't think that's the case. I don't know. It's just weird. I find it really strange. But anyway, who knows? People saying he's a poser. Mandy Vieira saying no, especially from New England. Eggy Mugo saying it's a franchise built on money, no loyalty. Mercia, home of the free. That's true. Maybe that's true. That's a good point. Your teams aren't really built on sporting success. It's mostly money, innit? If they get sporting success, it's all good. Brendan's job there. Cool. Fair enough. Anyway, let's continue. Here's a clip from his show, The Schaub Show.
The more you show that there's issues with it, the more support you're going to get. It's like if you have a toxic Reddit that's been harassing you for 6 years, never said anything. You just assume, part of the game. It's not, though.
So what, is this his new thing he's doing now? Hand movements and leaning into the Reddit and discussing it openly. He never did this purposely before. And you know what, this is absolutely hilarious too. This all started because of a trug walk and because of a DM on New Year's Eve or Christmas, whenever Khalyla got that DM. And now it's turned into oh no, but those guys are bullying me on the internet. And now he's using this as a way to, like, I think personally, this is like a concert. This is like a, what's that word called? This is like a, what's that phrase people say? This is like a calculated move to make sure that they can get that subreddit shut down. Because it's happened before. Many subreddits get shut down, sometimes through copyright strikes or other things, or breaking TOS, whatever it may be on Reddit. But I think this is a strategy that they now put in place, where they find like a great opportunity to suddenly rid the internet of this amazing community that is the homeless cats on the Fire and the Kid subreddit. This is what I think it is, because he is really leaning into this when, again, the issue is that you were disloyal or, tried to slide in the DMs of your friend's wife and it led to these issues, but now it's turned into like, let me take down Reddit. Pretty bizarre, but pretty clever.
It's not. There's hate, then there's harassment. And when you start addressing it and highlighting how negative and toxic and dangerous it is, well, then people go, hold up, dude. This ain't right. We got to do something about this. And then you get more support. The more you show that there's issues with it, the more support.
Yeah, I guess you get more support, but I guess people start asking more questions too, innit? Why are they on there? Why are they hating on there? Start reading and start finding out that maybe they've got a point. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's right. Who really gives a shit when it comes to these sort of things? Another clip here again, courtesy of the Fire and the Kid subreddit. Let's get it up on the screen. Let me zoom out, make sure it's all fitting in there so you can see it there. Let's play this.
Like, if I was getting hate because I was spewing hate, if I was saying, Bryan Callen's the worst comic ever, fuck him, I've only been doing it 6 years, I'm better than him.
Yeah.
Dude, you deserve all the hate you're getting.
Yeah.
You signed up for this, buddy. You're the one criticizing other comics. Have you ever heard me criticize a comic?
No.
Have you ever?
It's funny, we've heard of you through Khalyla calling other comedians to complain about women. Let's imagine what you must say about other male comics. Come on, man. Or other comedians in general who are in your profession. Come on. Lay off this stuff. And again, what do you guys think this is about? This little hand movement. What do you guys think this is? Do you think this is something he's learned in therapy? Has he been watching YouTube videos about conflict resolution or de-escalation of issues and stuff? Or is this just like a manipulation tactic that he's just found buried deep down inside of him? This whole open hand on the chest thing. That's not nice. Is that nice? That's not nice. Is that nice? Like, what is that all about? Clearly, it's a tactic to kind of gain sympathy and to make it seem as if like he's empathic or whatnot, isn't it, right? Hand on heart, I don't have a truck. I've got the best chat. Hand on heart, I don't have a truck. That's so good. That truck is not mine, officer. Honestly, I promise it's not mine. It's not mine. It's not mine. Oh, that's actually brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, big up the hand on heart. Big up the hand on heart guys out there. When you lie, hand on heart. Right? When you lie. Right? Excuse me, sir. Did you pay for that? No. I didn't even know it was in there.
Ever heard me talk gossip and go bad on anybody?
No.
Never. When I have every right to, especially now. I could light some of these fucking terrible comics up who are judging me. Easily. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He just said he doesn't judge people's comedy, and now he's saying someone's terrible. Would you look at that? In the same sentence. My word. CTE flare up, or is he just redacted? God almighty. In the same sentence. When have you ever heard me go bad in the comic? I could light up these terrible comics. Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. It's like, yeah, MK. No be mean. That was brilliant. Big up Annie Liederman, man. No be mean. That was amazing. She drew it on a little bit of paper as well. Let's not be mean. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Another mention of the Reddit here again, courtesy of the Friday Kiss Up. Let's see what he said here in this clip. I'm sorry for all these random clips I'm posting. There's no real rhyme or reason, but why not? Let's go through them.
But you pay it no attention because and now the caveat with this, and if I'm Dana, this would be if he hears this and they're in the meeting on Thursday or Friday, when the fuck they do their meeting, because there's no big fights this week, right?
Dana won't hear this. He hates you. Honestly, what is this cucking that he's doing to Dana lately? Brendan was one of the trailblazers in terms of leading the flipping Dana White is a piece of shit brigade, right? With the fighter pay, he allegedly, or one of the reasons why he quit the UFC was because of the bloody Reebok deal in the first place, right? He highlighted how much of a scumbag of a boss Dana White is. Maybe it's like how all promoters are, who knows? But Dana White is still unique in his level of scumbaggedness. And now all of a sudden, he's now turning into the biggest Dana White apologist in the world and clearly trying to suckle up to him and gain his sympathy and try to be friends with him again. If we know anything about Dana White, if we know anything about Dana White, if we know anything about this guy, he is the most petty, vindictive guy in the world. Once you're in his black book and he doesn't like you, it's over. He has sabotaged fighters' careers in some way, allegedly. I don't really know. Don't sue me. But fighters have suffered from the flipping consequences of crossing him. People who could legitimately kill him with his bare hands have suffered. How much more so for you, a podcaster now? He doesn't care what you have to say. He doesn't give a shit. He's surrounded by some of the most dangerous men and women in the world, and he still treats them like shit. Why would he care about what you have to say? But now he's turned into some Dana White apologist. It's weird. So bizarre. I wonder what why do you think it is? Do you think because Dana White's got a lot of money now? Because, I don't know, the UFC got sold to whatever company got sold to, however many millions and billions it got sold for. Why has he suddenly become a Dana White apologist? It's so bizarre. You can't tell the world that Dana White may or may not have been your Eskimo brother because he may or may not have slept with flipping, what's her name, Ronda Rousey, which at the time could have jeopardized Dana White's marriage. I'm sure he's flipping married. And now suddenly you want to be his friend. Only in LA do people think that's okay. Slide in my girl's DMs and then we can also be friends. Expose that I might have cheated on my wife and we can sometimes be friends. Get out of here.
Right. So when the team gets together, like, hey man, we listened to Schaub. He's the best in the game. I don't think he was say. He'd be like, you're fired. Get out. But this is how I picture in my head. Hey, listen to the Schaub show, man. Yeah, you should subscribe, Thick Boy. Oh, he's special. Just went over 1 million days.
Big up Amy K. If Annie just completed the trug walk, none of this would have happened. Amy's slaying. Look, Annie just needs to take one for the team. Just should have took one for the team, right? Did the trug walk, and then came back with some research, came back with some findings. A, B, C, and D, whatever it may ever, filled in the gaps. Is it big? Is it not? Was it good? Was it not? Do you know what I mean? That's all you need to be doing. Just do the job and then come back and report back. But look at what you've caused. You say no, you having standards, right? You not treating yourself like a skank. You not wanting to be regarded as some 2-bit whore has now led to this nonsense. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Why couldn't you just whore it out for a second, eh? Just let yourself go. Be like, you know what? Fuck it. It's a trug. It's white. It's got that new black interior. He's got a good sound system. It's got neon lights on the dashboard. Fuck it. Let's go. How bad could it really be? How bad could it really be? Let's just give it a go. Come on, Annie. Come on. You never know. He could get you booked on Just for Laughs. He knows Rogan. Okay, cool. You like Rogan, right? You want to be on Rogan? Yeah, come on. Let's go for the trug walk. Just do it. But no. Annie has standards. Annie has class. Right? And he has standards and class. Ha ha ha. Okay, amazing. You've got class, you've got standards. You hold yourself up to a certain level. Woo-hoo-hoo. No fun. I just can't get past the idea as well of saying to a girl, do you want to walk me to my truck? Oh, that's like the horny level of like, do you want to drink? Maybe because I don't own a car. So I have to ask a girl to walk me to my bus stop or something. But I've never in my head, that's been a thing to say to somebody. Even if you hook up with somebody, you end up hooking up with them in the toilet. You don't say, "Do you want to walk me to the toilet?" You just take them to the toilet, or you go together. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you're like, "Hey, would you like to walk me to the toilet so I could finger you in the cubicle?" You don't say that. Do you know what I mean? You just try and lead into that moment, but you don't like say, "Hey, truggle me, truggle, I can't talk. Welcome to my truck. Can I get a truggle?" Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, he's crushing it, man. Even though you've tried to kill him. Yeah. So he was saying that you've done all this stuff. He's giving you so many compliments, man. Then he went on this weird rant about how he has streaks in his underwear at 39. Sorry, that's besides the point. But he was saying to leave your mark on the sport, you got to fix judging. That's the last thing you have to do before you sail off in the sunset and they build a statue of you. And he made something up like he knows who's going to build the statue, but they're waiting till you fix judging. I think he's full of shit there. His Reddit says he's full of shit. Anyways, so you need to fix judges, is what he's saying before you retire.
Oh, he's trying to be funny. I was like, what is this? Why is he doing this whole like ramble thing? Anyway, look. At least, look, I'm not going to begrudge the guy too tough. At least he's trying. I've been bemoaning this guy for not trying to be funny and always trying to be serious and trying to talk like he's some sort of, like he's got any idea on world issues and politics and all that stuff. Now he's trying to be funny. I'll let him do his thing. But that's bizarre. Now he's trying to be Dana White's best friend. All right, buddy. All right. Whatever. And then another one, which I'm disappointed about because I'm a fan of Joey Diaz. He was trying to cuck for Brendan for some reason, maybe because Joe Rogan gave him a call or because he felt bad. But Joey's had a very interesting relationship, I felt like, with Brendan Schaub. What's it? No says, Agostino, Schaub is so bad he doesn't know he is bombing yet. Yeah. I don't really care I honestly don't care. I know it looks like I care. I really don't care. I just find this funny. This is like my version or our version of like the Real Housewives, right? That show is fucking entertaining as hell because you get a little prism, a little insight into the lives of these extremely affluent older ladies and their nonsensical drama. Who came to whose birthday, who didn't get who a present, who copied what business idea, who's sleeping with who, all this sort of stuff. That's all it is all about. It's not that really interesting, but they make it interesting to people because they get wrapped up in such nonsensical things it makes you care. Same with these comedians. I generally do not care about any of these people. But it's just funny. It's so funny to see stuff playing out, especially because they're all adults and they have children and they have families and stuff. And they're just like, you can't get it through your head that these people have children that they're raising, trying to be well-adjusted humans in this earth that we're living in. And they're doing all this nonsense. They have these weird ideas about their career. They're still hanging on to their youth. They're dressing up like 13-year-olds. They're gossiping behind each other like little girls. It's hilarious. I love it. That one's a Play Dead Men Tell No Tales by Elephant Graveyard. After this, it's a great video. Okay, cool. I'll play it after this. Let me do this.
They were like limited, so it was gonna be mainly us, which I was also fine with. I was like, you can hear people laughing, and usually they only cut to the audience if there's a fuck up, if somebody messed up or they got a reshoot or they're cutting from the second show or whatever. But they basically took my they didn't edit anything out. I think they edited out maybe 30 seconds. So you're seeing my entire set. So there's nothing
genuine,
that's been cut.
No fucking laugh track.
Yep.
None of those Showtime special fucking laugh tracks. The guy's joke ain't funny and they're fucking laughing.
Yeah.
You hear this roar, but nobody's head is going up and down. They just sit there like they're watching a fucking old porno or something like that.
Exactly.
See, this is the thing I don't like. Joey, I love you, man. I love the show. Uncle Joey's Joint, The Church of What's Happening Right Now is one of my favorite podcasts from back in the day. RIP that, big up Lee Sayat. But this is lame. You can't go start cucking for Brendan, ripping into everybody for ripping into him, and then you're basically subtweeting him by saying this. Because who else are you talking about when it comes to the special where there was a laugh track? Because we all know it was Brendan Schaub's special, especially recently. What else has he got in mind that's going to be making him think this way? That's the only lame thing. These comedians are all like this, man. They're all so bitchy and again, Joey is a pretty upfront, straight, shoot from the hip type of guy. And even he does the whole LA thing of like talking in soliloquies, talking in innuendo, saying things about people's back. If you're not going to say it, don't say it. If you're going to say it, say it. But don't then do people shouldn't, if you don't like his comedy, don't watch it. He's not that, he's a good guy. And then on the other side, you're now subtweeting by saying that, oh, it's not like these other specials where people weren't laughing and they were inserting laugh tracks in there. Come on, man. Make your mind up, brother. Make your mind up. But again, I love Joey Diaz. It's hard to see him this way. It is what it is. Maybe he's just enjoying the show from the outside in. It is what it is, but I can't do it. I can't do it. Anyway, let's play this video that this person keeps mentioning all the time. Was it Dead Men Playing Hotels or something, right? That person says, Silverback Jack says, did you see him and Callen talking about comics with friends who should tell them not to do comedy? One of them last TV. Yeah, I did. It was actually another show. I'm actually going to clip it and upload it later. Yeah, I thought that was ridiculous for them to be laughing at other people, especially considering that fucking Brendan, how he started in comedy. It's just a bizarre... Again, the lack of self-awareness is always something that... Have I told you before this, guys? Have I said it before? I honestly do think... Look at someone I mentioned all the time. DSP, Wings of Redemption, Boogie, Brendan Schaub, Bryan Callen, all these people, these kind of low cows extension, Mersh from the Revenge of the Sis. I legitimately think to be a successful content creator in this era that we're living in at the moment, it's actually advantageous to lack self-awareness. To lack self-awareness and to think your shit doesn't stink and to be delusional is actually an advantage in your career of content creation online. Because you generally don't understand why people don't like you, and you generally lean into the reason why people don't like you too. You double down on it all the time without even trying. You double down into it all the time. And I legitimately think it's actually a good thing for your career. It's worked out for all those people I mentioned. Yes, they're locals. Yes, we point and laugh at them. But DSP, all these guys... with the exception of maybe Wings, they will earn like $60,000 per year doing whatever they're doing online. Brendan, I don't even want to imagine what he must earn per podcast when he's recording them. The shows he does per weekend. Insane levels of money. DSP makes over 150 grand a year. Again, they're locals, their lives are miserable, people poke fun of them, yeah, all that stuff. But when it comes to the brass tacks of being successful online, numbers, the streams, the stats, all the stuff, they are up there. Their numbers are on the rafters, you know what I mean? The numbers are there, they're in lights. So I think it's an essential part of being a local. Now, obviously for a normal, registered human being, it's hard to be a local because there's only so much level of embarrassment one person can take. But if you have the ability to just lack self-awareness and be delusional, you're going to be successful. You're going to be really successful. Anyway, continues. Someone left me a super chat. Big up MRDBZ fan who said, AZ, congrats on the 15K. Your texts are hilarious. Thank you, sir, for the £2 super chat. I appreciate you. Much appreciate. That £2 is going to go towards me buying an 8-ball when I go to Berlin. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's going to pay for a schnitzel, an 8-ball, a beer, right? And maybe a lap dance. That's what it's going to pay for. So thank you for the £2. I appreciate you. Anyway, let's continue. What's this video do you want me to play? Dead Men Tell No Lies. Let's see if I can get this up on the screen. Who's this by? Who's this by? It's by who? Who is it? Who's this by? Dead Men Tell No Lies? Is it a long video? I can't play something too long. Who's it by again? Tell me who is by. Tell me who is by. Let me see it. Scroll up, see if I can find it. By the Elephant Graveyard. Elefante es muy grande. Elefante es rojo. Can't be rojo, can it? You're my sunglasses, Amy K. Go on to what you call it. Go on to Amazon. I forgot why I searched for them. I think it was like cat eye. Yeah, cat eye sunglasses on Amazon. I got like 4 for $10. Bargain, absolute bargain. Anyway, let's continue. They've been telling, it's 6 minutes. Okay, we won't watch the whole thing, but we'll check it out anyway. Let's play this video, courtesy of an account called The Elephant Graveyard. Let's get this up on the screen.
What do you think we should do now? Oh, Joey Diaz.
Yes. Oh my God, that's a good one.
So here's Joey Diaz, this big sack of shit. And I know why they call him Coco now. What's the color of cocoa? Brown. What is the color of brown that comes out of the down? Shit. A violent fool. He's committed heinous Me Too's.
First time I met Chelsea Handler, I went off on her in a sexual way. 6 minutes into the conversation, I was gonna rock a coke and let me eat your pussy and shit. Her face turned pale.
So here's Joey Diaz.
I can't watch this. I can't watch this, man. I love Joey, man. Why are you setting me up at this for, man? Nah, man. I love Joey Diaz, man. You can't do this to Joey, man. Come on, man. I can't watch this, man. Come on. Come on, man. I love Joey Diaz. You're making me watch this gross injustice where they're putting words in Joey Diaz's mouth. He didn't say that, okay? He didn't mean Chelsea Handler. He meant Chelsea Handler. Some other woman, not Chelsea Handler, Chelsea Handler. How dare you guys? God.
Sack of shit. I had girls sucking my dick and giving me coke from Chewy. You think I'm fucking kidding you? Fuck yeah, you gotta suck my dick to get up in the belly room. I'll make a call for you. That's the fucking gateway into coming to Hollywood. You know, how many girls do you do that? Oh, 20.
That soundbite is mad. Hey, big up the £5 super chat again for MRDBZ fan. My tip for the lap dance fund. Yeah, lap dance fund, lap dance fund, lap dance fund. 8 ball lap dance fund. But honestly, man, why are you making me play this, man? Honestly, why are you doing this to me? These soundbites from Joey Diaz are nuts, bruv. What is it? 20 women. He made them suck his dick so they could get stage time. That's why, honestly, one of my main regrets about this whole thing, one of my main regrets looking back on the videos, and this is when the whole cancellation of Bryan and Khalyla came down, right? If you go back and watch some of my older videos while I was speaking about it, I think when it came, especially when it came to Chris, I spoke about the Chris thing, and it felt like I was defending him. It felt like I was defending him. It did felt like I was defending him. It really did. It felt like I was defending Khalyla, I'm Bryan Callen to some certain extent, and I feel really bad about it. I really do feel bad about it. I really, really do feel bad because it feels like to me to be a woman in the whole stand-up community scene, community scene, right? Stand-up comedy community. Well, I can't speak. To be a woman in the stand-up comedy scene must be so hard. Imagine. Forget even doing stand-up, just being somebody associated with that community and being friends of friends. How difficult it must be to navigate without having these guys like proposition you in this way and, you know, put all these mad things. I don't know. It must be so crazy. Crazy. Like, just imagine how crazy it must be to be a woman in that industry. And add to the fact, imagine if you're mildly attractive. Because LA is probably home of loads of really hot people. But imagine if you're like an LA 6, which is usually, you know, around the world might be a good 7 or an 8. You're an LA 6 and you happen to do stand-up comedy and you're fresh-faced. You just moved down to LA from Alabama and everyone's trying to come after you. Imagine how difficult it must be to navigate. God damn.
What the fuck happened with our boy from Chicago? No, don't say his fucking idiotic name. He's a fucking suicide. He's a dumb motherfucker.
This video.
You're fucking living on a lamb. He said some shit about me. It bothered me for like a day. He was attacking Rogan. He was attacking Segura.
Wearing Captain Spaulding makeup.
He was attacking Kreischer.
We should kidnap him.
He was attacking the leader.
You're finished.
This guy's videos with his white privilege and his little bottle of fucking whiskey. White privilege.
White privilege whiskey. When Joey Diaz said that, I was like, what? White privilege? I never thought I'd hear Joey say white privilege. White privilege whiskey. What's the privilege? Anyway, let's not even go there. We've got another super chat, courtesy of Eggy Mule. £1.79. More for the lap dance. The hand. My mum asked me, why do you go to Berlin? Why are you there for? I'm only there to just see the sights. I'm just here to see the sights. I've got some friends here. We're going to study and we're going to, you know, do some revision and to help me out with my homework. My friend. Big up the lap dance crew. Big up. Oh no, now I sound like that flipping R-word that was hosting the show with flipping, you know, Malik. I'll take that back. No more brips or big ups. Let's just talk normally. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you.
Things is cool.
Do you hear yourself?
It bothered me for like a day.
Whack 'em
But this is what gets people shot.
Come and kill me then.
What?
You don't know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, well.
Did you say that?
You've done nothing with your life. You really haven't done anything with your life. You sit behind your little fucking computer and you think you're cute. Kill yourself. I don't give a fuck what people think of me for saying that to you. I really don't. You're a waste of life anyway. You're a failure as a comic. The only thing you can basically do is get on the fucking computer and say lies about people, talk shit about people. Really, bro? Slit your wrist, buddy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yo, I swear, if my channel gets taken down, let's blame who told me to put this video on? Nos482. If my channel gets down or goes down, I want you all to go and attack Nos482. And I want you to attack him in likes and subscriptions. Go on his account and attack him with likes and subscription on his stuff. If I go down, just go to him. Because this is nuts, this video.
Listen, I could go back down. If you want, we'll get a computer fucking expert to find
my
thing
god.
on my Facebook. Triply hired an investigator and found him in Tucson hiding. Knocked on his condo. He was out there for 10 hours, Triply.
Mike, I'm gonna get ya.
Triply's gonna kill him.
I'm gonna fucking get ya.
When the cops do come, somebody's gonna show them all the videos that you said. Kill him, attack him, Rogan.
Yo, whoever edited, who is this guy? The Graveyard Elephant. Yo, your editing skills are absolutely supreme. This is cinematic level, mate. This is absolutely amazing. This is really, really good.
Attacking Kreischer, attacking Trips, attacking Diaz. It's not gonna be a good day for you.
You fucking top guy. Come the fuck down, you fucking piece of shit.
BetterHelp.com/Diaz. Online therapy. Suicide. Learn how to deal with stress. Apologize.
Mike, I'm gonna get ya. And you're gonna sing the song you say about my daughter. I'm gonna fucking get ya.
To be fair, unpopular opinion, I don't mind, as much as I like Red Bar, I also don't mind Sam Tripoli bringing it to his doorstep. If he said what he allegedly said about Sam's kids and stuff and, you know, crazy stuff about his family and whatnot, it is what it is. Mike plays, you know, he dances with the line and stuff. When you cross it, some people aren't going to want to go back and forth and do ha-ha hee-hees. They're going to want to throw some hands. So the fact that he went to his house and was willing to go and camp out there for many hours and, you know, throw hands and get down, I rate that. I'm not going to lie. I kind of rate that. I also rate the fact that Red Bar completely acted like he didn't live there and didn't answer the phone line or anything and just sat in his house the whole time, not being able to move while Sam Tripoli's downstairs. But I do rate the fact that he went out there and actually tried to go and bring smoke to his door. It is what it is.
When you least expect it one night, you're gonna run out of that fucking whiskey you drink, you're gonna go to liquor store, and there's gonna be a guy there with a bat. Yo, black people! Hit you across the fucking head, maybe hit you across the legs, maybe hit you across the back. Black people, I kind of remember you guys want Black Lives Matter, that's what you fucking get. You're gonna wake up with blood all over you, you go to a fucking hospital. You know how bad you're gonna feel in that hospital?
As much as, again, sorry. As much as I enjoy the fact that Red Bar says what he says, I also find it really interesting, or the fact I was just defending Sam for going to him to start the fight. Don't you also find it a bit interesting how these guys who are like bastions of free speech, who say that they want to say whatever they want to say and, you know, play close to the edge and nothing is off limits, they get really sensitive when you say stuff about them, innit? To the point where they want to physically assault you. Isn't that interesting? Like when the lens gets turned back at them, or when somebody goes and attacks them, maybe even if it's not in a funny way, even if it's in a personal way, who really cares? They get really butthurt about it. Really, really, really butthurt. And I don't understand why. I find it so bizarre. Why can't you just, like, you know, it's free speech, mate. Who cares?
I got stitches, and God forbid if your wife is with him, because your wife had a good time. Tripoli's gonna kill him.
You know what Sam Tripoli sounds like? He sounds like that bit that Will Sasser was doing on his show. You fucking scumbag, you cocksucker, you. When he was taking the mick out of who was he trying to do an impression of? He was doing an impression of somebody. Trump, Dick, stay Donald. That's what he sounds like, isn't it? Sam Tripoli when he speaks.
How they made Rogan be guilty for laughing at my joke. Your wife is guilty of laughing.
No comment.
So if she's with you, I'm sure they're gonna bust her in the fucking mouth too. And white privilege ain't gonna save you this time, buddy. Give us a couple thousand, send it to Mexico. But you got no options. You got 3 options. This is your option.
Okay.
Listen to me.
Anyway, we get the point. I can't play the whole thing. It's too long, and I also got to leave. But thank you so much for recommending that to me, my friend. I have to go to the gymnasium to pump these fucking guns, right? So I have to love you and leave you, my dear community of live streamers, watchers, and fans of the Random Show. Thanks again for tuning in and checking me out. It's been a pleasure to have your company. Big up everybody that was here. I know it's a bit late wherever you guys are, and it's really early in the morning, whatever it may be. I'm sorry about that. I know I woke up late to do the show. I apologize. I had a late night. I'm not doing anything crazy. I just had a late night. It is what it is. But thank you for everyone that tuned in. It's been a pleasure to have your company regardless of how late it is. And I do appreciate and love the fact that you're here. If it's the first time you check out the show and you love what you hear, of course, you know what to do. Smash a like. If you want to come back and see the stuff that I do, why not hit subscribe? And you can also check out my podcast, AgostinhoZinga Show. It's available on my YouTube channel. You can check it out and all this kind of other stuff. And if you want to see the Patreon, you can see that too. Patreon.com/Agostino. Get bonus content on there. You know what the deal is. But regardless, thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. I appreciate you all. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Nos. Thank you, Silverback Jack. Thank you, Akul Ahmed, who says I'm begging it out here. Cool. Everyone's begging. We're all begging. We all got our flipping hands out like DSP, asking for tips and donations, views and interaction and engagement and support. We're all beggars in one way, shape or form. We beg and we die alone. That's the truth of it. Anyway, let's just end there. Thank you again for tuning in, everybody. Been a pleasure of your company. I'll see you guys again very soon. Take care. Be safe. We're going to have a good time next time. I'll let you guys know when I'm streaming again. Until next